everyone, today is Wednesday, the 12th of September, 2018. This is The Gap, episode 436. I'm Lawrie, Joab Gilroy is here, and you're leaving tomorrow. Where are you going?
Going to Thailand. Decided to finally fulfill my dream of going to Thailand and getting the plastic surgery I always wanted.
Right, you getting those butt implants?
Big, beautiful breasts. It's about time. I think I've worked so hard to grow my own boobies for so long, and they're okay. My boobs are decent, I guess. I had a lot of KFC chicken growing up, which is, of course, how you grow big, beautiful breasts. I decided that they're not big enough, so fuck it. I'm going to go to Thailand, get it done. It's time. Yeah.
Nice.
Also, I'll check out some Overwatch World Cup stuff, I guess. But
who's playing?
Focus. It's the World Cup qualifiers in Bangkok, so it'll be, I believe it is Australia, China, Thailand, some Scandinavian countries. The Scandinavian country is going to be the scariest. I'm hoping the Team China plays mostly like the Shanghai Dragons, and they are the worst professional sports team in recorded history. Cool. That's about it. We just got to beat some Scandinavians.
Right. Are they doing that thing? Remember the first time they did it was like, it's a bunch of like pro players with streamers. They scrapped that whole thing, right?
Yeah, that's done. Yeah. It's all pro players. Team Australia isn't even doing all just the one team anymore. Because last year they did all blank esports as the Team Australia team. This year they've got players from everywhere. They've got a couple of blank guys, I believe a couple of Melbourne Order guys, one dude from the Drop Bears. There should be more from the Drop Bears, but there's one, and Custer from the LA Valiant. I always forget which team he's on, but yeah, LA Valiant. All of those, and yeah, it should be good. I mean, I've never been to Thailand before, so I'm pretty excited.
How long is your recovery time? When are you back? Yeah,
Tuesday.
All right,
next Tuesday. So no time at all. It's going to be a rough one because I come back and I believe I'm going straight into a shit ton of work on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then obviously we're watching Predator all day on the Wednesday. So yeah, it's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have to work on the plane, I think.
Okay. You should borrow Nate's foot pedal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Genius.
Do you have one already?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I'm not about that pedal life, but I will get rev.com to do all my stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It is literally rev.com for those who don't know. Rev.com is a transcription service where you pay $1 per minute of transcription. And so if you pay $350, you can get the podcast transcribed. And they do all the ums and ers and all that kind of shit as well, which is pretty good. But yeah.
How trolly would that be to get them to listen to the podcast every week and transcribe it?
That's it. That's what we need. That's what we dedicate.
Just to get more clicks.
That's what we dedicate our Patreon money to from now on.
So that I can put it up on YouTube with annotations and stuff.
Of course, with the subtitles. No, the real trolley thing would be to get it transcribed and then put it in as a question for us to read.
Yeah. We used it for. I've only used it once before, and that was for my Heroes fucking must die. Shadows die twice. Yeah. And that was interesting because Miyazaki was speaking like his local language, and then we were speaking our local language, and then you could see it in the notes of them being speaking in foreign language. Nice. So yeah, they didn't transcribe that part, but
Fair enough. What you do, Luke, what you should have done is you save yourself a bunch of money if you cut out all the shit you don't want transcribed.
No, I didn't pay for it. It wasn't me.
What? Still,
yeah.
Like, you save yourself a bit of extra time sorting through shit as well.
Yeah.
I cut out all my own questions, except when I have a conversational interview where I'm like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I think. What do you think on that? I'll leave it in then because I often interject with shit. But if it's a direct interview, it's like questions and answers, then I'll cut out my own questions. I'll cut out the bit at the end where I thank them for talking to me, cut out all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So it's just their answers. And then the other thing you do is you do noise reduction because do all this in Audacity. You do noise reduction because any extra noise makes it harder for them to transcribe, and that just means more time you spend fixing words that they fucked up. And then the other thing you do is you speed shift it by 60% faster to save yourself a bunch of money, like a third of the price, and then you pitch shift it so that it sounds like actual humans are talking, but they're talking really fast.
Yes. Yeah.
And you save yourself about about 30%. So instead, it's actually closer to $1 per minute.
Yeah,
an Australian dollar per minute. And yeah,
that's really good when it's like a European person they're trying to transcribe, so it's sped up as well. And you just because I struggle sometimes with just the normal speed. I tend to slow it down when I transcribe. Like I'll slow it down to I don't know, like 80%, 70%, and that way I can write while they're talking. And sometimes I'm like, I have no idea what this word is they're saying, and I was in the room at the time.
Yeah, and I have the full context. I'm not coming into this with no idea what esports are or what an Overwatch is, which is what I got to transcribe for Overwatch back as. So it's always good to just chuck it on red. But I don't do the transcribing myself because what am I worth per hour?
Yeah, and
how many hours does it take me to transcribe shit? I would say it takes me now about twice the length of the interview itself, and that's being generous. Sometimes 3 times. I'm nowhere near the same speed as the interview itself because like you, I can't listen to it at full speed. I have to listen to it at fucking slow down. If it's going to take me an hour, and it's a 20-minute interview.
Yeah,
I noticed that now is the time to decide to start whip snipping. So that's perfect. Time for the leaf blower. Can you hear that?
Slightly, but we'll get rid of it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. 20. Am I worth $20 an hour? Most would argue no, but I will argue that I am. And so $20. Too easy.
Cool.
Got to do it. Yeah. I'll just rev.com that shit and turn it into a story. Bingo bango. That's the trick of the esports journalist of the year, Joby. Anyway, Thailand should be good. I'm definitely going to eat a fuck ton of awesome Thai food. They love pork in Thailand. So that is, and I love to eat pork, and I never get to eat pork. So
yeah, exciting.
I'm pumped. I'm well pumped.
Nice.
And then, when we get back, we're going to watch Predator for an entire day.
Yeah, we're going to do. Are we doing Predator in the morning, and then how's it working this time? We've changed the plan, haven't we?
So
I haven't seen the messages yet because I was busy.
There's a 7:30, I think, session of the new Predator, the Predator.
Yeah.
And so we will watch the other Predators from probably around 11.
Okay.
And then roll on through, getting drunk, watching Predator, and then go in loaded to the new Predator.
Yes. Yeah. So that's next week.
Fuck yeah.
Yep. That should be exciting. Even if it's bad, we can probably make it good.
We can definitely make it good.
Yeah. Just hopefully nobody is in that session with us.
Yeah, well, it'll suck for them. But
yeah, it'd be great for us. Cool. All right. Should we talk about some games then?
Yeah.
Got a lot here. Might just cap off Marvel Spider-Man. I jumped back into that after we finished podcasting. They released, obviously the game came out. We talked about it last week. If you haven't listened to it, you should go back and listen. It's a pretty, I'd say, pretty spoiler-free discussion, right? It goes for about an hour. And it's, yeah, so since then the game's out, and they put out a day one patch a little bit before, but that basically contained some bug fixes. But the big one was the photo mode, which they attached. And that's, I think I spoke about this last week, like the Sony trying to one-up each other, or their like first-party studios, between like God of War or Last of Us or the Uncharted series, and now like Spider-Man. Yeah, and the photo mode's really freaking good, eh? It's got a lot of sort of different filters in there. You can move the camera around quite, a decent ways away from where Spider-Man is on the screen. You can make him do certain poses. There are like things in there, like stickers that you can put on the screen and sort of create your own little comic book frames. There are things you can do with like shifting the FOV, making the colors look different. You can jump in there, change your Spider-Man suits, and make all that sort of stuff look differently. You can stop the game pretty much anywhere while you're roaming around the world and take an awesome photo. Yeah, and I freaking love the stuff Sony's doing with this, because it's I've seen a lot of people posting the last like week. All these like everybody's getting into it, man. And it's really cool to see people jumping in and sharing different ways of taking like photos. There's some really cool stuff out there. I posted some stuff on the Reset Era thread, which is it's basically like the new NeoGAF. Once the NeoGAF people went all weird with the guy that owned it, but. There's an entire thread in there that I posted, and it's up. There's a lot of pictures in there for the time being. Really cool stuff. So I've been sort of going through that and checking out.
I only saw your stuff on Twitter. But, no, good. Like, I think it's really cool to put in Spider-Man in particular. I know Sony have done it in all of their games so far.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool in Spider-Man in particular because of the connection that Peter Parker has to photography. And I think, they do some basic photography bullshit in the game as it's like leading you along by the nose to certain collectibles. But like empowering the player to go out there and take the best shots they can, I think is really cool. It's not for me though. I don't give a fuck about any photo mode ever. I think I only ever take screenshots in games to use in articles, and I don't think I'm artistically capable of doing anything particularly interesting. I just don't have an eye for it. I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But like, I do like seeing what other people have put together.
Yeah. So there's a suit in there which is the Infinity War suit from the most recent Marvel film, it's the Homecoming suit, the one that like Tony Stark gives to Peter Parker, and he's like, "Hey, here's your new suit. It's like a fancy one." That's actually in the game. And when I took a couple photos of that, and it looks fucking amazing. Like it's hard to tell that you're looking at a game screenshot. And there are a bunch of people that have done this, like similar things where they've put up like photos of that. And it's like, this is actually a screenshot from a game, not from the movie, because that's how much detail they've gone into with some of those suits. They look really cool. And then there's things like being able to make your own sort of like comic book cover. I'm seeing some really cool ones of that. Like I just did a simple one of just his sort of head, which I thought looked okay. But yeah, there's some really sick photos in there that look outstanding. So yeah, I didn't play too much more. I went through and I platinumed the game. I think I was talking about it last week that I was maybe like 3 or 4 trophies away, and it wasn't a lot of work. It was basically just doing a couple more of those challenge missions and getting some more tokens, and then unlocking all the suits, pretty much. So yeah, first game of Platinum. And I'm not a trophy person either. I think I spoke about this before. It just so happened that I was so close to doing it anyway that I was like, I may as well just get to the end. It only took me like half an hour, so yeah, wasn't that far off. And it seems like a lot of people are getting that platinum trophy at the moment that have been reviewing it. So I guess that's a good thing, because it doesn't mean people are grinding for it and they don't feel like they need to jump in there and do it. It's just something that was organically like, I'm pretty close to that, I may as well give it a crack. Because I looked through a bunch of the trophy lists that I've got at the moment, and there was, I feel like it was Mass Effect 2 or something that was like the next highest one on my list. So I don't really, and that's like a game where I don't even understand how that's the next highest one on my list, because that's super strange to me. But it was like 58% or 70% or something like that.
So it wasn't that high.
Yeah, it wasn't even that high. And I'm like, trophies or achievements is not really something that I go for in games. And just like, it's just something that in SpiderMan I was pretty close to getting anyway, because they're like the collectible stuff in that game was something that I felt like I don't need to go and do it, but I was having fun doing it. So, and it just so happened to unlock trophies. So yeah, it was fun, and it was fun. But you haven't jumped in to check out the new. You didn't play with the photo mode at all?
No.
Just watching it.
It's just not for me.
Yeah, and they're 4K photos as well. You can get up to 4K.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And there's a new game plus patch. I think that's officially been confirmed now. We were under embargo not to talk about it, but until it was supposed to come out on day one, but it seems like that's been delayed a little bit. Yeah. And that is coming at some stage. So I'm curious to see what that sort of entails in terms of gameplay, or if it changes gameplay at all. But and they also added in some new suits, like 1 or 2 new suits, and added some abilities to suits that didn't have abilities already. Nothing exciting though, but yeah, that's cool to see them updating it still. And it sold a fuck ton by the looks of things. You get that press release?
I did.
Yeah. So I think it's the fastest selling game that Sony's put out so far. Something like that.
Yeah. Something like that. This year or ever?
I feel like it was ever. I don't know.
Bananas.
Yeah. But it seems like it's going to do well, and it possibly may get a sequel.
As Luke noticed in their live stream, it's almost definitely getting a sequel, right? They mentioned SpiderMan 1. They called it SpiderMan 1, and then quickly correcting himself. He was like the game director as well, right?
Yeah, Brian's a director. Yeah. They were talking about the suits in the game and like how all the suits have abilities in Spider-Man 1. And he was like, in our Spider-Man game.
In this Spider-Man game or something.
I'm like watching this stream like, did he just say, did no one pick up on that?
If you look at the Twitch chat, like 2 people did. But you definitely picked up on it.
Yeah, and they, I was watching quite a bit of that. They had like the voice actors come in, and they showed some prototype footage of the early concept of the game. And like you can see the swinging, how like early that was like one of the first things they really worked on. And it still looked like it was pretty early stuff, but you could see the idea behind it there. So yeah, it's cool when they show that sort of thing off, because usually studios are like, they don't show that sort of thing. It's like something they keep a secret, because people don't understand that like this is a work in progress type stuff, which is we spoke about that sort of work in progress notifications like a week or 2 ago when we talked about like Cyberpunk and those sorts of games. But yeah, so I don't know, it was cool to see the early concept of that game and sort of how it evolved over time. Anyway, moving on, I put Rainbow down really quickly because I played a bit of that last night with Nate. I don't know if you've played any more since the update.
Yes, I have. Absolutely, I have. I love it.
Yeah, Grim Sky. They added Maverick, which is a dude with a blowtorch who makes holes in reinforced walls, or even.
Wait, didn't we play? Yeah, we played together, you jackass.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if we'd played since the last time we spoke about it.
Did we speak about it last week? What?
Can't remember. Let me look at the list.
Rainbow's on there, but I think it was.
Yeah,
we had only just played it for very briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Grim Sky's out. 2 new operators, reworked Hereford.
Some small changes here and there.
Other changes, like the fucking Thatcher's a little less useful, I think, in my opinion. He no longer destroys cameras, he disables them.
Is that in there at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize. Because I was using Thatcher and wasn't sure if they'd changed that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
Clash is the second one. Clash has a giant, see-through shield, sort of similar to Monty's shield, but it's see-through and it's got a taser on the front of it that shocks and slows people down.
Yeah, and she looks angry, and her guns are shit.
Her gun is... Well, her automatic or semi... Is it a semi-automatic machine gun or something?
The submachine gun, right? It's a Tech 9 or something, right? And it shoots in two round bursts.
Yeah, it's horrible.
What the fuck is the point? What the fuck is the point? And her other gun is a P18C pistol, the fucking Glock. That's the best pistol in PUBG. The fucking basically a second Uzi, and it's single fire only for whatever reason. Maybe I don't know enough about guns to have realised that the P18C is supposed to be semi-automatic at all times, but it's fucking shit. Nobody's fucking... Oh, fuck, man. It's tough. Giving her a shield. She can't fire from behind the shield, and then she's got these 2 turd fucking guns. It's... Not good. I don't know, man. I feel like she's been picked a lot, but only because people, the novelty is there.
Yeah. I first time I used her, I didn't realize her submachine gun was 2 round bursts, and so the first time I shot it, I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm on single fire," and then I pressed the button to change, and then it literally did the same thing. And I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" Yeah, it was not fun. I think 2 bursts is so dumb. It's such a dumb weapon.
Yeah.
And it takes quite a while for that shield to be put away.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not like she can, quickly switch. You tase someone, and it's basically just so you can, retreat and deal with, and get some backup. If she's the last one alive, it's not like when Monty's the last one alive, and you're like, well, there could be a hilarious clutch coming here. You would need the other team to properly fuck up. All the way fuck up for a hilarious clutch to kick in with Clash. Because, there's no way. You've got to put the shield all the fucking way away. And it's... I don't know. I think she's shit, basically.
Maybe a bit of a buff. Needs a bit of buff with the weapons.
Yeah, I think so.
But we had a good video go up.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were playing together, even though you forgot. And it's on your YouTube, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I was Clash, and I can't remember who you were.
Don't know. Can't remember.
Don't know. Doesn't matter. Irrelevance. But basically, we had one dude outside a window, and I stood at the window, so he couldn't actually jump through because I had the shield up, and I was blocking him from getting through. And so you could see through my shield. I could see through it, and so I just kept ducking to the right, and you pop shots at him, and he was, I don't know what the fuck he was doing at the end, but you managed to fucking plink him in the fucking brain just as I sidestepped. Nearly
Nearly
different though. It was nearly a very different video. Because you came fucking millimeters from popping me in the back of the head. That was a good one.
You're lucky I'm quick.
lucky you can't aim. The next part of that video is me getting an ace with Maverick, the other new operator. His gun is such a fucking beast. The AR-1550, which has 50 cal bullets, they fucking pound. They wreck cunts. And his pistol's pretty good too. So yeah, you just he is the complete opposite of Clash, because he's got great fucking guns, and you feel like actually, if anything, like Clash, you just walk around with your fucking shield out all the time. She's always doing her operator move, whereas I would say 6 times out of 7, I don't even crack Maverick's fucking blowtorch out. Not on purpose. I just don't it's just not relevant to the situation. And the other times, when I do get to actually pop it out, on the new Hereford, where there's a lot of outside walls, if they go basement, you get a lot of opportunity to exploit it.
Yeah.
You do it, but it's tough because you don't know exactly where to burn a hole in, and people are watching for it. I've gotten shot out of my own holes before and shit like that. People are definitely on the watch for it. So yeah, it's tricky because his gun is so fucking good. I will definitely wander up. What's that? What's Coastline?
Yep.
And there's that the bar room downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I will absolutely go in through the middle and just put a hole through one of the reinforced walls, and then just pop cunts. Literally just a hole big enough for me to see, a fuse hole, basically. Put a hole the size of a fuse, and then just hammer motherfuckers through it. And it's good. People get fucking owned all the time. They always get grumpy when they work out where from. Maverick, as one person was describing it, pronouncing it. Maverick is too overpowered. But yeah. Yep.
Right. Yeah, we realized that he's he can counter Bandit as well. So Bandit's the one that puts down these little electricity traps and then can electrify certain things within the environment. And so what you do is you can sometimes put up a reinforced wall and then put this Bandit could put his trap on it, and then anybody on the other side of the wall will get electrocuted if they either touch it, or if they try and put if Thermite is trying to breach through it or something like that. So it sort of stops other operators from getting in. But yeah, Maverick can counter him by putting a little hole at the base of the wall and then shooting out the trap. So that's kind of cool when it works, at least.
When you can find it, there's a video that Johnny Bravo put up on our Discord of me putting holes that were of absolutely no use. Although, right, I feel like I was copping a bit of shit, and we got a shit ton of kills through the holes I made in the wall. I'm feeling a bit unfairly sliced. But yeah. It counters Bandit, and it counters the Bandit trick where you just put it up when
you hear them doing it. Yeah,
which is extra rough, especially on House. House is the one where it was the most useful because they had there's 2 parts to the garage.
Yeah.
So you poke a hole through the corner on the hard left of the garage, on the left part of the left double door garage, and on the left part of that, all the way over to the left, you poke a hole in that, and you can see through. And you got to be a bit careful that you don't get shot from the right-hand side.
Yeah.
But if Bandit is hanging out there, he has to now watch both directions if he's going to try and Bandit trick it. So he has to watch that hole, and he has to watch the other direction where, there's that doorway into the garage itself that drones can go through.
Yeah.
So Bandit has to fucking sit there and watch both directions if he's going to try and put his fucking thing down. It's super rough. And I think the only way to counter it is a mirror on the right-hand door, which is, it just makes the garage a really fucking tough one to defend.
The other thing I was trying was you'd make a hole against walls and then put your a claymore down.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it works, but in theory it should, right? Because that's how the other sort of trick works, where you put them in front of the drone holes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Nice, cool, sweet. All right.
It's good. Hereford's also all right. It's different.
I like it, man. It's I'm still learning it, but I've played about 7 or 8 times now, and I really like it. I love the new top level because it's super wide open, and it feels like have a real good fucking firefight on multiple fronts, and both teams I feel like if you're defending it, you've got a good opportunity to just fucking drop all your shit and move to a different location. If you're attacking it, you've got multiple avenues of entry.
Yeah.
And if you approach it as something that you have to start from the top and work your way down, then from that perspective, it's a really good map, I think. It's the new basement. I'm still confused about how the fucking basement works, to be honest. I'm still, because there is that traditional basement area, but there's also a whole other section to it now.
I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure.
You just that's the main problem, is you spend so little time in the basement, right? I feel like you wind up going through all of the rest of the fucking map a lot, but the basement is somewhere you only go to if you're actually going to the basement.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it's the thing of looking at bits and pieces of that map and being oh yeah, this looks familiar, and then other parts I'm I have no idea where I am.
Yeah.
And where are the other stairs that are supposed to be in this map? Because I can't see them.
Yeah, I never found the second set of stairs until my 7th game.
Yeah.
Yeah, took forever. It's good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's I'm having the most fun with it that I've been having in forever. It feels community feels really good. Doesn't seem like it's full of salty dickheads. It's awesome. Only problem is I keep getting these lag spikes that are apparently Switch related to my fucking Switch, and I don't know how to fucking stop them. Not my.
Do you and Nate are you using the same Switch or something?
It must be a 5-dock thing, eh? I've got my old router as I guess. Well, it's my router. It's not my Switch, but I've got my modem in bridge mode to my router, and just. I called up Into, it's super fucking salty. I'm what's going on? I can't, it's fucking up my games. I'm, having the worst time.
KDR's trash.
Yeah. You're ruining me here. I've got a reputation to maintain. And they're actually, it says you're getting, probably the best speeds I've ever seen. I'm what? It's yeah, I've literally never seen anything quite this good. You've got a really good connection, and I don't understand. And so I plugged directly into the modem, and it's fucking perfect. It is 95 down and 39 up. But
right.
Once I have the fucking router plugged in and I'm back on bridge mode, it's for shit. So let's have a quick squeeze of what I am fucking right now, and I bet you it's fucking garbage. And I just don't understand why.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, so Nate and I were playing last night. He's having internet issues as well with his Switch. Has like died. But he jumped into his 4G on his phone. So he was using that instead. But we were running around and playing with like Clash as a really aggressive hero. So Clash is a defender with a shield, but we were just roaming with her. And so he was like, he'd just have the shield up and walk around, and then I'd sort of be behind him, and people, he'd be zapping them, and then I'd come around the corner and just fucking start laying into people. We played one round, we got like 3 or 4 people with 3 or 4 kills, because like people didn't know what to do at that stage. Like there was one guy who just literally turned around and ran because he couldn't figure it out.
Probably what I would have done.
Yeah,
she's super hard to deal with. You have to get in close, which means you have to wait for her taser to be out.
Yeah.
But she's like, she can, like, you know, Monty can't be stunned by melee.
Yeah.
Once he's got his shield up, you can just sit there forever until someone C4s you. She can be. If you melee her shield, she flinches and you can shoot her in the feet.
But then you got to get close because she's got that stun.
Yeah. It's tricky. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, should we move on?
Let's move on.
Do you want to talk about which one do you want to go next? The shooters or the sports?
Let's go shooters first. This shooter.
All right.
That only I've played.
Yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout beta kicked off yesterday. I was going to wait for PC version, but because I'm flying to Thailand, I'm not actually going to get to play in the fucking beta period, which sucks.
Yeah.
I'll bet they won't let me play it at the Overwatch event, even though it is on Battle.net, so whatever.
Activision game.
Yeah, so I jumped in on PS4 first thing yesterday, and I'm going to be honest, it's fucking good.
Yeah.
Blackout is fucking good. They clearly understand what a battle royale needs. I was going in like super fucking worried that they wouldn't really get the battle royale concept, that they try to do all this COD shit and put their own spin on it and all this garbage, and you'd wind up with this fucking half-assed fucking middle ground bullshit.
Yep. But
that is not the case at all. It feels like it's, I don't think there's third person, so it just feels like first person fucking battle royale, like PUBG with like good graphics, a slightly too long time to kill, and a sort of small map. Yeah, I won my very first game. I got 2 kills. It would have been more, but one of the randos. So it's only got quads at the moment. They're called quads instead of squads. It's the dumbest thing. This is going to be like, this is the stupidest thing to upset anyone, right? Nobody should get annoyed by this, but I am. They've got quad bikes in the game, right? What if you're like, go get the quad, right? And you're in a quad, the word quad is already being used by your fucking game. Also, nobody has a fucking copyright on the word squad, you motherfuckers. Just call them squads. Why would you change it to quads? It does nothing. It is such a meaningless change. Anyway, that annoyed me. But anyway, so yeah, you can only play in squads, or you could only play in squads last time I played, and you randomly are assigned to a team with a bunch of other randos, and I didn't have my headset plugged in, so I wasn't even able to talk to anyone else, but I was listening. I was non-verbally communicating as well, mostly by dropping shit on the ground and shooting at it.
Yep.
If there were emotes and stuff, I didn't see them, so I don't know if there's an opportunity there for them to sort of grow how you work with people. I don't know. I feel like there could be some sort of like Comoros situation or something could work so that you can like talk to people without having to actually talk to them.
Yeah.
It's communication is vital, but we still made it work. I figured nobody else is communicating either. So we've got that going for us. So in our first game, me and one other dude sort of just dropped pins on the map, and we sort of refined it as the planes, the helicopters. There's like a dozen helicopters instead of a plane, but they fly over the map. They've got like the predicted line of where the plane will drop, like right from the get-go. You can drop markers that you can go to pretty easily. When you jump out, your wingsuit, you can't pop early. So you always, everyone will always make the same distance, basically, the same max distance. It's not like you can float forever or anything. You can dive quickly though, so you can just go straight down if you want. And you do go really quick down. You land on the ground and you start to loot. Probably the biggest problem I have is the looting mechanic isn't fantastic. It is if you were to play PUBG and you were only allowed to pick up shit off the ground using F.
Yeah.
So you basically have to just run up and hold square for a third of a second and you'll pick shit up. It's not bad. It's inventory management that's the real problem. There were a couple of times where I just had no idea how the laborious process of switching a scope. I had a scope on my fucking SMG and my sniper rifle was sitting there with fucking dick all. I'm like, I would love to put this 3x scope on my sniper rifle and then maybe it would be marginally useful. But I basically had to, in the end, I had to detach and drop the scope and then switch to my sniper rifle and then re-pick up the scope and it automatically attached. There must be a better way. I just never worked it out. So you loot. You do need backpacks. There is a backpack around. I'm pretty sure ammo doesn't take up any space in your inventory. So you can pick up as much ammo as you like. So if you see ammo, you should pick it up. But other things do count. There's the specialist kits. You know how Call of Duty has specialists?
Yeah.
There's specialist kits that you can pick up, and it'll be looter or medic or silent runner and all this. So you basically pick up perks and you can activate these perks. They take a good, you got to, basically it's like applying a med kit. You got to sit there for 5 seconds not doing anything while you activate them. But once you do, they imbue you with a bunch of powers.
Yep.
So Silent Runner does what it fucking says in the box. Medic allows you to heal people for more and faster, so you can get teammates back up faster. Looter allows you to see the highlights loot through walls and stuff, so you can see once you know what the silhouettes for everything is, you can see through walls whether or not you should bother going into a building or not. Stuff like that. There's a whole shitload of those sorts of those, and they all take up space in your inventory. Guns themselves take up space in your inventory. Grenades, med kits, first aid kits. There's 3 levels. There's trauma kit as well is the biggest one. You've got 150 health by default, and I did feel like you could lose health for almost any reason, but you can heal yourself back up to full right from the get-go. There's no energy drink equivalent or anything. It's not like you get to 75%. You can't go any higher. You run around, you loot. It is basically PUBG in the looting phase. It doesn't there's no real difference except for, I suppose, COD shooting. And once you get, you get some guns and stuff, you got to get inside the circle. You can walk, but there's a bunch of vehicles. There's a truck, there's quad bikes, there's a helicopter. My first kill came when me and the other rando both, without speaking, we rode over to a nearby helicopter that was just inside the circle, and we waited. And instead of getting straight in the helicopter and flying somewhere, despite this being literally out, well, it was my first game for sure. I'm pretty sure it was his as well. It was pretty fucking early. It was like 7:30 in the morning. We both just sat next to it, and the squad rolls up and decides to try and take the helicopter, and we shredded them. We shredded all of them. But my boy, my friend, my rando companion stole all three of the kills. I definitely got 2 of the kills 100%, and I'm pretty sure I did most of the damage on the third, but he finished off 3 of them, so he got the kills. And then we jumped in the helicopter, flew around. It's not instant death in the blue zone, so you've got some time to get in, but there's still a bit of panic going on there. You get a bit worried. It seems like it ramps up. The supply drops just like in PUBG. Like, basically, just like in PUBG is going to be the way to describe Blackout for everyone, I reckon. Like, it is so analogous to PUBG as an experience. It's it just feels like generally more polished.
Yeah. But they've got like zombie hordes as well, right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of whack shit. You can get the clapping monkey explosive, and if you drop it and someone runs over it, I believe if someone runs over it, that summons a horde of zombies. It lures in a bunch of zombies. Cool. And I'm not 100% sure. It might just be like a bit of like confirmation bias or something, but I think that you may get more certain types of weapons based on the zone you're in. Because I found my first zombie grenade when me and the squad landed at the asylum, and all of the major areas on the map are based on very heavily on former Call of Duty maps. Yep. And so the asylum is based on a zombies map. And I don't know if that was just a coincidence or what, but it did seem interesting because I found another one immediately afterwards, and I hadn't seen any prior to that.
Yeah.
We threw. That was pretty good. I piss bolted. I should have stayed around and done some testing on how the zombies work and seen if the zombies actually attack you as well or what the fuck. But I piss bolted the moment I fucking threw it. So I don't know what the zombies exactly did, or if they would have gone after me, or if it would have only gone after the person who triggered the bomb, or what. I'm not sure. But there's that. There's like supply drops. There's so many fucking supply drops. By the end, it feels like there's heaps. There's just a bunch. Games don't take, I think the max time for a game is like 20 minutes. Not scientifically tested or anything, but that was my gut feeling, was that they were over really quickly. And by the end, you're getting like a couple, maybe one a minute, a supply drop. And they drop inside the zone, I think it seems, although I've been wrong on that before. You get good stuff out of them. I think the best guns are all in the supply drops. So I've got the War Machine, which is from Black Ops 2, I think. The fucking automatic grenade launcher. It was disgusting. That's how I got my second kill. Was we saw there was our entire squad was left, but there were only 6 players left in the game. We saw one of them popped his head up to take a pot shot for literally no reason. It was the dumbest fucking thing. Just took a cheeky fucking punt at one of us, and so I just fucking unleashed in his general direction and missed. And then I turned a corner, and the other guy was hiding in a corner watching from where I think the other dude, like where the explosions were going. He was watching the explosions, I think. I think that must have been what it was. And so I'm looking through a window at this dude who's hiding in a corner facing away from me. So I just fucking shot him in the back with a grenade launcher. Too easy. And then I think the other dude must have taken some damage from the grenades. because he died to the fucking blue zone. So we won our first game to a blue zone kill. But whatever, doesn't matter. Win's a win, right? And after that, I played a bunch more. I think we had a really good game. I was playing with these dudes who were talking a lot. They were... I liked playing with them. They were clearly Call of Duty fans. They were asking like one another if they played much like Battle Royales, if they played PUBG or Fortnite. One of them had played some PUBG. Fortnite. None of them had played PUBG. And they were like all just hardcore COD fans. And we were literally picking where I was just going wherever they wanted. But we were literally picking our next destination based on where they wanted to visit on the map, because they wanted to visit all the Call of Duty locations on the map. We were going on a fucking Call of Duty tour of this fucking map.
Yeah. Which
I thought was bananas. Like, this was not strategic. They were just fucking, let's go here. Oh, we've got this truck. Let's go here. Oh, there's a helicopter. Let's fly over here. I picked up a heavy machine gun and a fucking rocket launcher from the get-go, and I shot down a helicopter. It was fucking awesome. The rocket launcher is a guided missile, so you can fucking lock on and shoot down helicopters, which makes it extremely dangerous to be a part of. And it was good. We were kicking major fucking ass with our very odd strategy of touring the entire fucking map. And then we got down to, I'm pretty sure it was us and one other group and I think it was two dudes. And I don't know if I dropped out or if the entire server dropped out, but I got this connection disrupted message, and then I got bumped back to the main screen, and we missed out on the chicken dinner, I guess.
Right.
Which was a bit of a bummer.
What do they call it? Is it just like victory?
It is, number one victory, and there's something else. Leave none standing.
Right. And they need a catchy word, right?
Right, of course. COD dinner.
Yeah, COD. Nice.
And they've got a Thomas Jefferson quote on my windscreen. War is as much a punishment to the punisher as it is to the sufferer. Which is not exactly the hypest thing you could say, Thomas Jefferson, but
right.
Good. It's good.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet because I'm waiting for the PC to kick in.
Yeah.
Because I've got a PC code for that. And so in the meantime, I've been watching some streamers, and it looks awesome, man. I like it. It looks really good. Yeah. So I'm excited. The combat looks solid. I think I talked about it when I saw the game at E3, how they've really changed the bullet physics, and it's now bullets have weight to them, and that was the whole idea. They did that because they knew they were building this battle royale mode, and they needed to have it because the maps are so much bigger and that sort of thing. The shooting looks really good. I said that when I played it at E3 as well. It felt even though they redone all the shooting, and it was the first time they'd actually changed the gun gameplay, I guess, since the game was released. It still felt like a Call of Duty game to me, which was important, right? And so this looks really fast paced as well, a lot more fast paced than PUBG. PUBG is quite slow because you've got the sliding mechanics in there. The running's really quick. The traversal, jumping through windows, the vaulting looks solid.
Yeah.
All that stuff looks really good, and the other mechanics, they're not just copying PUBG, but they're doing things with having the zombies spawn in, and from what I could tell, it looked like there were not only the supply drops, but also random areas of the map that would spawn in zombies as well, and there'd be crates there that would give you weapons.
I didn't see any of those.
I saw one of them today when I was watching somebody play, and it was like, all right, you've got to kill the zombies, and then once you do that, I think you get the crate.
Right.
But it's that thing of like, oh, what's going on over here? Why is there a bunch of people shooting? Maybe I should go.
There's these massive like blue beacons I've seen a couple of times.
I think that was it.
Never really. Yeah, okay, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the fuck they were.
And I think it's on a time limit. I'm not like again, I haven't played it and I'm just watching people.
Yeah.
And then like there's like underground bunkers and shit. Like, yeah, it looks, from what I've seen, it looks really freaking good, and I'm so excited to play it because I'm keen for a battle royale game that I can play.
Yeah, exactly. You don't wait at all. Like, there's fucking zero wait time to play it on PS4 in the beta, so that's pretty good. It just needs to change the connection issues.
Yeah, so the other thing that I noticed today is that they've upped the player count as well, it looks like.
Oh, yeah, it's 88, right?
Yeah, which is good. They're, like, expanding it as they go. So I guess the testing, or I guess we find out, right, when the game comes out.
Well, they must feel that the servers are stable enough for 80 at the very least, and they can, like, they're using the beta the way it's supposed to be used, I guess.
Yeah, and they've said they've gone higher than that, so I guess they're checking. But yeah, like, I just want to just touch on the whole PUBG thing again. And I know we harp on about it all the time, but this is the thing, right? We were always waiting for some AAA developers to come along and get into this genre, and it was going to be problems for PUBG Corp because they're like an independent, I guess they're an independent game company, right? Yeah. And they haven't really tackled this game's launch in a good way. And they were going to lose ground if someone came along and started eating some of their pie. And that's what happened with Fortnite. And then you've got EA's coming in, and you've got Activision coming in now with giant tentpole releases. Like, people might think that Call of Duty, like, oh, fuck Call of Duty, it's not even that popular. It's like Call of Duty is still one of the biggest games every year. And and this is going to really eat even more of their section of that game. Like, once people realize that, or if it comes out and it's good, I think it's going to have a strong community on PC, and you're going to start seeing players switching from PUBG to Call of Duty, especially if you've got a situation where, like, what's happening in Australia, where you can't even play. And it's not even Australia anymore. I don't know if you've been paying much attention, but I posted something on Twitter maybe a week or two ago about, on the front page of like PUBG on Reddit, there was, I think, 6 or 7 posts about like matchmaking, like people not being able to find games. And it wasn't just the regular, usually it's like 1 or 2 every day about OCE, and it's usually on the front page of Reddit. But this was like 2 OCE. There was like South America's also been having the same problem as us for the last month and a half, 2 months. There was a post on there, 2 posts about NA having the same issues, and also Europe was having the same problems. And they were like, NA was the same sort of thing where, remember when we first started complaining, it was like, it's not working in the morning anymore. They're now doing the same thing where, hey, we can't get games to work in the morning. And so you're at the stage now where, like, oh, those fucking whiny Australians, like, it's because they don't know what they're talking about. No one wants to play the game. It's like, well, actually, no. Now you've got 4 or 5 regions complaining about the same issue that we've been saying since day one, that it's not a population issue. It's a bug or some sort of matchmaking problem. And it's literally taken them like 5 or 6 months to try and fix this, and it still hasn't been fixed. And it's still a problem. They put up a post late last night saying that, hey, we know there's an issue with the matchmaking still. We're trying to fix it. But, like, you're going to have to be patient with us. And it's like, it's not good enough. Like that, they've literally killed the OCE community. It's dead. Yeah. Like, people don't even play squads anymore. They play on SEA now just to get games. And the easy solution would have just been to roll back that patch, patch 12, to put map selection in. The initial problem, and just being like, look, we tried it, it didn't work, it fucked with some of our regions, you're just not going to be able to choose your map. And I think that's fair enough. I don't think, like, killing entire regions, it's not just one region now, it's multiple, is good enough of a way to handle that situation. And now you've got, like, Call of Duty coming in, and then Battlefield within the next 6 months. They're going to really struggle to hold their player base.
I think, I mean, they're dead here, right? And it sucks. It sucks to say. Because, we've been the fucking champions this game. Like, nobody... I don't think anyone's championed fucking PUBG as hard as we have. And, like, watching them make misstep after misstep has just been fucking tragic, I think.
Yeah.
And, while we're harping on things we've said a billion times before, I don't like playing PUBG anymore. Sorry. I have such a bad taste in my mouth from the experience of having being dicked around in this region.
Yeah.
And I don't even like to play it. I still love watching it. But I truly hope that all the fucking awesome players from this region up sticks and play
something else. Yeah.
Blackout.
Yeah.
They go across. Blackout, I think, has what they require. They're not playing Fortnite. The reason they're not playing Fortnite is because it doesn't play the way they want it. It's third person focused, and I think that at a fundamental level informs the rest of how Fortnite plays. It's always been my problem with it as well. Blackout doesn't have that problem. Blackout is first person from the top level, and everything fucking works for it. They've even just tiny things make me realize how fucking well Treyarch fucking get it. When you're parachuting, you can hold the L2 button, the aim down sights button, to free look, so that you can look around you to see where other people are fucking diving and shit. It's just doesn't you don't see that. It's fucking awesome. I think it's so fucking good. They put in such a fucking good effort in, and I'm fucking pumped.
Yep. Yeah, it looks. Everything I've seen of it looks really good. I'm curious to see how the vehicle mechanics sort of handle. If it's a bit iffy, but the helicopter stuff, I was worried about the helicopters and that sort of thing because obviously
they're so easy to take down.
Yeah,
so easy to fucking shut down. It's almost like a bigger risk to be in one. The only flip side is that you can wingsuit.
Once it goes down,
jump out. So, as soon as it starts to get fucking hammered, I think it takes it only takes a single rocket.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I didn't hit it with any others. But you've got a long time before that rocket arrives. So,
that's good.
you can dive out. You can't wingsuit at any time. I thought you'd be able to old school Battlefield style parachute whenever the fuck you drop a long enough distance.
Mm-hmm.
So I landed on the highest building in the map, and then I jumped off it and I cratered.
Right, yeah. Maybe they'll change that.
Maybe. I don't think they need to, although getting off that building would have been a mad pain in the dick.
Right, yeah. Anyway, I'm keen to... I mean, that's out soon, within the next couple of months, so I'm excited to... And I'm excited to play it this weekend. I'm so looking forward to it. I can't preload it yet, which is I was disappointed about. Because you messaged, our group the other day saying, Call of Duty beta starts, tomorrow. And I'm like, what the fuck? I jumped on to, Activision Blizzard Net or Battle.net, whatever the fuck it's called. And I was like, won't let me preload. What is going on? And I looked into it more and I was like, okay, it's just PlayStation at the moment. But I can wait. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, Battlefield 5 beta has also been running at the same time. Well, not at the same time. It just ended last night.
It ended last night. Blackout started yesterday. It's
good timing.
A little overlap, but pretty well done. Battlefield 5. If anything, it's squashed some Rainbow Six hype. I think it definitely dragged people who I thought would be all about fucking Grim Sky away from Grim Sky a bit more than I expected.
Yeah, I was... I think I've been pretty, negative about didn't really want World War II. Because I'm like, we just came from World War I. It can't be that much different. And I didn't really like the World War I stuff, mainly because of the weapons and the whole... I don't like using iron sights. There are optical sights in Battlefield 1, but they're not like your red dots and that sort of thing. It's just like, whatever. And then having that again this time, I'm like, man, I'm just over it. I want Bad Company, but playing it now, it's like, okay, I get it. And it's fucking really good.
Yeah. It is so good.
Yeah.
Like I think you're the least, like out of all our entire group, I reckon you're the least, like, Battlefield, I guess, focused. You're the, like, I would say you are not the, you're the least of a Battlefield fan out of our group. And I don't think, this is not a diss or anything, I just think you're, like, you generally stray towards other games because in general, Battlefield games don't really do what you want.
Well, I just don't like the whole tank and planes thing. I just like being the guy on the ground.
Yeah. And you seem to pick this one up real fucking quick. Like I said that incorrectly because I don't think you're not adept at Battlefield games. But you seem to attach to this one really quick.
Yeah. There was a thing that happened the other night where the guys couldn't get into Battlefield 5 because something was wrong with the servers. I'm not sure. But I jumped in and they were all playing Battlefield 1 and I was like, I don't want to play Battlefield 1. Yeah. I want to play Battlefield 5. And I didn't play it.
I was there when they had, like, I was there when they were giving up on Battlefield 5 because it was clearly broken.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this. I'm not playing Battlefield 1. I can't go backwards.
I don't want to, I can't go backwards either anymore. I'm done with Battlefield. And I played a lot of Battlefield 1 as well. Like, we got into it around E3 again. We were playing a lot.
Yeah.
So, I really like this one. I think they've changed so much in the game and the way it works with the whole squad system.
Yeah.
That now, like, so I guess the biggest change is they really emphasize it on being like, you need to stay with your squad because your squad is important. You start off with, like, limited ammo, which is something I don't like at the moment. You're basically given, like, an extra clip or one clip, and you've got everybody in your team can now revive everybody else. So you're no longer relying on a medic to be near you. But saying that, like, it takes longer for somebody in your squad to revive you, and then you don't get a full healer either, whereas a medic can revive you quite quickly and you'll be back to full health. So there's that. And then there's the support, who is a lot more useful. I didn't play much support in Battlefield 1. I don't think I played much of it at all. And this time around, they're really useful. Like, they've got ammo. Like, you need to have someone there with ammo. They can build structures, like fortify buildings. As we found out last night, you can repair tanks and vehicles.
Right, you guys were saying, yeah.
And I have primarily been playing support in our group, which I've enjoyed, actually. Usually I play assault primarily. I play medic sometimes, and then the last sort of 2 or 3 months we've been playing Battlefield 1, I've been playing sniper, and I just don't touch support. But in this one, I'm like full-time support, and I'm having fun with it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's interesting you'd say that you think you should have more ammo to start off with, because I think that is critical to why you've been having so much fun with support, because it actually feels like such a vital part of the fucking experience now. Like,
well, because I've got ammo all the time as a support. I'm no longer like, where the fuck is my ammo? Why can't I shoot any of it? I'm like, I've got so much ammo here. This is great.
Having you there as a support, like, it feels like they just, like, they've reverse psychology to everyone along, like, all the fucking way. Like, the having fuck all ammo so someone goes support so that they've at least got some fucking ammo for themselves. And then just by, like, circumstance, now they have ammo for everyone as well.
Yeah.
And, like, a medic can revive anyone. Anyone can revive anyone in their own squad. so you don't need a medic. But then someone winds up going medic anyway so that they can heal themselves afterwards. And so suddenly you've got a medic. And all that kind of shit. It feels like they've just tricked everyone into playing fucking roles. And they've made it so that you don't feel worthless picking one of those roles in a firefight. You don't need it's not like you need an assault to be there to win a firefight. I think the only fucking close range fights I'll ever constantly lose as a medic are ones against shotgun cunts, and they can go fuck themselves forever. But apart from that, I feel like I can win 50-50s against fucking other assault players, or against assault players as a medic with my SMG if we're inside of fucking 50 meters from one another. The only time you really feel like you need an assault player is obviously for tanks, but also in those mid to long range battles where you take where someone's taking potties at you from a while away. You want an assault to put some hurt on them down range so that you can get into cover and move on, or close the gap, or whatever the fuck it is you plan on doing. That's the benefit of the assault. I don't see the point of the scout, and I think they have to put the scout in there for people who want to fucking scout it up. But yeah, it's definitely not for me. I
didn't look into it, but it's I'm hoping one of his upgrades is an ammo pouch, because it's a weird position to put a sniper in a spot where they need to be next to the support. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't feel like a good suit to the style of game they're trying to put on, unless he's got an unlockable ammo pouch, which I think that'd be fine then, because he doesn't need to be with the team.
Yeah, I don't see how that makes the scout better though.
Because a lot of people play it hiding in a fucking a hill or something like that. I tend to play it a bit more aggressive. I'll run around with the sniper rifle.
You and Nate have done some pretty good fucking aggro scout shit.
Yeah. But having to rely on I've got no more ammo constantly sort of was at the point where I was I'm good for this at the moment. Maybe I'll get back into it at some stage, but I feel like ammo pouch on him would be a bit more useful. I didn't look at the unlock, so maybe
I just don't understand what the fucking scout brings to the table at any point. It's aggro scouts, 3D spotting is gone.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like that's an option.
I don't know how the glint system works either.
There is no glint. They got rid of it.
There's something there. There's got to be. I've seen it a couple of times.
Maybe the muzzle flash?
Yeah, I don't know.
It must be the muzzle flash, man. They got rid of all that shit. It's just not in it anymore.
I'm fine with that. I think it looks...
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I do have a problem with fucking... I still hate snipers. I think I'm going to hate snipers more in BF5 than previous, in the other ones, because there's even less of a reason for a player to be a sniper now, except to farm kills. And I think that is a mistake, sort of. They should have incentivized players to do something to play the objective as a sniper, but as it exists now, it's sort of the sniper's there because they know people want to sniper in Battlefield games, and people will find some way to snipe in Battlefield games. And that's the only role the scout seems to fucking fulfill. And I think that sucks shit. But yeah, the vehicles aren't overpowered. You have to fucking rearm them.
Yep.
I dropped 2 bombs. I jumped in the plane. I dropped 2 bombs. I'm how the fuck come I can't drop any more bombs? And they're you got to go back and rearm after every bombing run. So it gives you it turns it into there's a constant place where the plane will be going to.
Yep.
And that makes it an easier target for people to take down. I jumped on the AA at one point. The first day, it seemed first day of this fucking beta, everything was fucking broken. It's like everyone like
classic Battlefield,
but there's fucking so much wrong with it. And then the second day, it was like an entirely different fucking game. Yeah. So I jumped on an AA gun in one of my last games, and I shut down the fucking skies. It was fucking awesome. You just like it felt so good because these two planes had been like bombing the fuck out of us. We were like 100 behind in the tickets race, and as soon as I shut down these planes, we came back and won. Felt like I think the only thing is that like Battlefield did nothing to recognize my contribution to our overall effort. Like, despite the fact that I was killing like 4 dudes or 2 dudes every 2 minutes, I was clearly like the net positive for our team. The amount of people who were no longer dying on our team because those planes weren't there, it was significant. And I don't know how they would ever reflect that, but yeah, it would be nice to get a bit of recognition, you know.
Yeah.
Tanks, you got to rearm them as well. They're still crazy fucking powerful. I do have I have a bit of a like gut worry that the fact that you've got to rearm tanks will just encourage the squirrel sort of play where you sit back and it's now justifiable because you're going to be like getting ammo. There were a couple of times when I was in the tank and I'd like be sitting well behind the attack line, just because I had to fucking rearm. Although, because I'm not a wiener, I would then immediately push all the way through to the fucking front and I'd go on the charge as the tank. I reckon I got as many kills fucking running cunts over as I did like shooting people.
Yeah, but isn't the idea that they'll each site will have a rearming station, sort of how the like infantry works as well?
Yeah, but it's a little bit it's very tempting to not leave that rearming station.
Yeah.
Like, because it takes long enough that, like, because you think about the way we play Battlefield, right? We do the circle. Yeah, we go from A to B to C to D to E and then back to A again. We'll loop straight back around and we'll just keep capping, right? And killing anyone who happens to be there and getting points and all that kind of stuff. And it was obviously the correct like plan in the beta because defending points didn't get you any points at all. They fucked up the defending trigger, and they didn't fix it by the end of the beta either. So attacking the next point was always the best plan, but if you were in a tank, you couldn't really keep up with the circle because you'd have to link it back and get ammo until the next one. So you're always a little bit behind and you generally get caught up by the circle and you get stuck defending a point instead of leading the charge, which I feel like a tank, even like I just don't think the tank is a good defensive weapon. Obviously it's a powerful one, but I just don't think that's not the best use of it, you know. It's not the most efficient way to use a fucking tank. But yeah. They're not that hard to take down. I feel like they may be a little bit too strong, a bit stronger than they should be, but they're not like super difficult. I'm pretty sure like Battlefield 4 or 3, one of them had like tanks that were I thought way too difficult to take out, and you just wound up in this situation where a single tank could just fuck everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So like the squads thing is a big point. They've got a point system in there now where not only are you sort of like working towards things on your own team, like getting caps and that sort of thing, jumping into tanks, but you can spend your points on calling in reinforcements. So you can like call down extra vehicles or the one that we saw, or like supplies. So there are like supply areas on the map, and it's usually on a control point, and you can go and get more health, get an extra bandage, or you can load up on grenades again or ammo. And each sort of cap point will have one of these, but you can also call one of them out in the field somewhere if you want to, and then people can come and get all that stuff. So that's one of the abilities. And there's also like a V2 rocket,
yeah,
which is like a mini nuke.
It's the fucking,
and it sounds so sick. It's so good when that thing comes in.
It chatters its way across the fucking sky, and there's a panic. So anyone who knows what the fuck to listen out for, there's a panic in that moment when you hear it, and you like look up and you try to work out which fucking base it came from. Because if it came from your base, you're all your fucking money. But if it came from their base, when that chattering stops, if that stops too close to you, you're in a lot of fucking trouble. And basically, the chattering stops, which means that I guess whatever the fuck is propelling it has run out, and it's now falling. And it falls, lands, explodes, and it doesn't matter if you're on the same side, the other side, whatever the fuck. If you're inside its blast radius, you get knocked off your feet, and if it's on the other side, you get taken either down to fuck all health or you'll die. Or if you're on the same side, you just get knocked off your feet and you got to get back up. And it explode. The sound of it is fucking crazy. The shockwave is awesome. It's really fucking good. It's the best.
Yeah, and it destroys stuff. It'll just melt buildings and whatnot. Yeah. So that's cool. I'm curious to see the sort of what else they put in the game, like other unlockables, if there are any. Because like the other thing I'm interested about is how the catch-up system will work. Because in Battlefield 1, they had the behemoths, and like if you were behind in a game, it would spawn in a random vehicle. And, like you've all seen the footage of giant blimps coming in and crashing on maps. Like that was one of the behemoths, and there would be on some maps like giant trains with turrets on them. Later on, when they did some of the DLC, they would put in like really beefy ass tanks. So it doesn't seem like they've got anything at the moment in the game sort of like that to rebalance the ticketing system. So, I don't know. I'm curious. But at the same time, I haven't really had games where one team is getting wiped at the moment. We've had a couple where it's come down to like 4 or 5 tickets. Easily, I've had a couple of games like that, which has been super close. It's kind of what you want. I don't know what they're going to do with that. And then, like the destructibility is really good. They've got the supports, and everybody else can build and reinforce building. Like you can build things in the environment, put up sandbags, and it's not everywhere. It's only on certain parts of the environment. So you can reinforce windows. You can build like in the snow levels. You can make trenches. There are like the support guys can put in like giant bollards to stop tanks from getting into certain areas. You can put up barbed wire fences. There are you can put up ammo crates and health crates, like fortifications for weapon mounts. Like there's so many different things they've added in there, like this whole building mechanic, which is really cool and interesting as well, which I dig quite a lot. That's fun. What else is there? Far out, there's so many changes.
Yeah, there's fucking stacks of changes. The parkour shit.
Right.
So they've like ramped up their traversal system to the next level, so that now you can actually grab onto ledges and haul yourself up, which is fucking awesome. Except when you accidentally grab onto something and you're hauling yourself up somewhere you don't really want to be. I had that a couple of times. It's only if you like double tap space, but there have been a couple of times when I like just hammered the space button by accident and climbed up onto a fucking ledge in the face of a bunch of fucking enemies, which was hilarious. It really opens up the fucking map, though. Like the ability to get to all these different places means that you're no longer stuck with just like these very obvious choke points. There still are a couple, but you can usually get around and find a new way to fuck people up, which is sick. It's so good. The ability to tow in-placed weapons, which I only did twice. The best one was when Nate booked a like the big fucking massive emplaced gun on the back of a truck, and then drove me around while I was sitting on the gun, and then hooked me around when he saw a tank. And so I like spun around and looked at this tank and then fired. I only got off one shot before we were both exploded. That was pretty fucking amazing.
It's pretty battlefieldy, bro.
Oh yeah. There's upgrades to weapons. I'm not a fan of that at all. It's probably my least favorite thing about the entire fucking beta. I hope they get rid of it, but I don't know that they will. So basically, when you've got a gun, you unlock those like war resources, which are all those points that you earned in the other battlefield that I literally never spent any of.
Yeah.
And this time you use them to upgrade weapons along the way. And you can upgrade, like you upgrade down a tree. There's no like drawbacks at all. Usually, like if you put a muzzle brake on your gun in Rainbow Six, then it will increase your horizontal recoil, but it decreases your vertical recoil. And you figure, like, if you figure you can manage horizontal recoil better than vertical, then that's the best idea, you know. Or you put a silencer on and it'll like ramp up the damage drop off, shit like that. That's not this. This is just straight up you're making your weapons a lot better. And I don't agree with that. So I don't think that's the best way to do it. It does have like cosmetic add-ons or cosmetic like customization options for guns. And it seems like they've split them. It seems like they've done the upgrade path to give people the option to have cosmetic changes to their weapons so that they can sell cosmetic changes, I guess, you know. They're trying to, like, they want to have the ability to sell loot boxes or battle crates or whatever the fuck they're calling them. But if they were to include if these parts were to improve your weapon, then it would be pay to win, essentially. So they can't do that. So they've split them out from one another. But yeah, I don't agree that they've done it the correct way. I don't think upgrades should be straight upgrades. So
I hated the support when we first started playing because I was like, it's taking me way too long to reload. This gun is fucked. And then the first upgrade was like, make your reload quicker. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's so much quicker now. I like this gun. So yeah, it's in that weird spot. And you can also attach, like, there are like literally holoscopes in this game. They're sort of mixing and matching with like the things they're borrowing from like World War II, but also it's like their version of it. So yeah, like there are scopes in the games, and holoscopes and like red dots, which I'm enjoying that part now. I'm not having to use it, but like iron sights, but the iron sights are still okay in this game. I'm finding most of them pretty good. It feels easy to use them in Battlefield 1. But yeah, like going back to the upgrade system, like the UI in this game is terrible. It needs to be overhauled. Someone needs to do something about it. It's so like hard to manage what you're looking at. You can only upgrade in the main menu. You can't actually do it on the fly in game. So you're leveling up your weapons and it's like, oh, you've unlocked all these things now, but you can't use them because you need to go back to the main menu in the game. You need to leave the server, or like, oh, the map's finished and I got all this cool stuff on my weapons, but you can't do it while you're waiting for the game. So you leave the map, go back to the main menu, you unlock all these things you just got, and then you've got to go back into the game and then attach them like in another menu. So it's like you're doing all this weird shit. That is
dumb UI choice.
Terrible. I'm hoping that they fix that or do something. Like there shouldn't be any reason why I need to leave the match or leave the server to go apply all these weapon changes. Like, I'm going to put a new scope on this gun, or I'm going to upgrade my, whatever. Because at the moment you upgrade it and then you apply it, and it's not applying in the actual game. You got to then go back into the game and apply it again a second time, which is dumb. And it just looks horrible. Like they've tried to take this like minimalist approach to the UI. on the main menus at least, and it just doesn't look very good. I feel like even the stuff in the game is not that great. You've got like things happen. It's like you get 5 assault kills, whatever, and you get a ribbon, and now it's got this giant fucking V that flashes up on the screen whenever that happens, and it's all of a sudden like a firework goes off in your face. And that's dumb as shit. Like, I don't like the way the map is set out anymore. I made it bigger because we always get like the big maps, but I don't know, there's something about it. I like the old, it looked cleaner, the interface at least. This looks a bit messy for my liking. Even like looking at people on your team, it's like sometimes it's hard for me to go, oh, okay, that person's on my team or not. I don't know what it is about them. It just doesn't look right. That like blue circle. Yeah, that's what it is. And it's been buggy in terms of just like the whole squad mechanic. Like, I want to play with my friends, but you can't because their team is full. The server's full, but their like squad is full, and so you can't actually join into their game. I don't know what server you're playing on, but I should be able to go join game, and then, all right, maybe I can't get into your squad, but at least I'm in the same server as you. But no, the game's like, nah, fuck you. Yeah, the squad's full, so you can't join at all. Like that is dumb. Hopefully this stuff is all fixed for the full release, because it's a bit sloppy, some of the things in there at the moment.
I'm pretty sure that's the sort of stuff that will be, but yeah. A lot of it was like, it was meta shit. It was outside the game that was most fucked.
So I think for me, the one thing I want to see changed is an extra clip of ammo. I'm okay with 2 clips on a person. I shouldn't have to spawn with my team as a support and just start dishing ammo out to everybody is the first thing I do. Like every single time.
No, you shouldn't. I disagree. I think you gotta eat that.
There's some good memes going around about like the drug addicts being like, hey man, you got any ammo?
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it's some good ones. So yeah, like I get the idea of like making you, I don't know, I just feel like I don't have enough ammo to start the game with. Like 2 clips is like the clip you've got in your gun, and then another 30 bullets or 20 bullets doesn't seem like enough for me. I feel like a second clip would be perfect, because at least then you're still needed, and you're not instantly spawning and then being like, all right, there's the 3 other guys around me on my squad that needs ammo. Anyway, the other thing is I don't like is the once your team dies, you can still be revived, but then you bleed out, and then you've got to wait another 8 seconds. I think that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
To either, it's got to be shorter. I don't know. It's way too long, because you're waiting for someone to revive you. Your team gets wiped, and then all of a sudden you're waiting another 8 seconds to get up. It's like I've literally already waited fucking 15, 20 seconds. It's just shit. That part shit, at least. Something about that needs to be changed. I'm not sure what they do, but
just count like fucking bleed out time as part of your fucking countdown time, like as part of your fucking
instead
reinforcement time. That's
yeah.
But yeah,
cool. Otherwise, it looks sick. It looks really good. I enjoyed it. I want to play more.
Definitely.
It's a good year for games, man. Far out. Some good stuff coming out.
Yeah, absolutely.
These 2. I feel like, like Call of Duty might show me back with the, with what I've seen so far. Battlefield, I was pretty whatever about it, but now I'm like, I can't go back to Battlefield 1. So, yeah, I'm excited for Call of Duty and Battlefield this year. Should be fun.
100%.
All right. Sports games.
Sport game.
It's basketball season coming up. Basketball starts in like 2 weeks. Preseason, yeah. Preseason's in 2 weeks, and that means a new basketball game is out. NBA 2K19.
Yes.
I didn't review this last year, but we talked about it on the show. I've reviewed a lot of basketball games over the years.
No.
I feel like I've got half a dozen on Metacritic or along the lines of that somewhere. So
are you reviewing this one for Survival?
Yeah, I am. Cool. Apparently. Yeah, which is interesting, right? I'm pretty conflicted about this game. I think the basketball, as always, is pretty fucking good. The gameplay is, I feel like, pretty top notch. I've been playing a lot of it the last couple of days. I got a copy on last Friday. I think we got sent copies, right? And it's now Wednesday. So that's pretty much the game I've been playing exclusively since Friday. And yeah, man, like the basketball is really good. It feels good. The biggest change they've put in there that I can tell is stuff with the takeover system, which is really interesting. It's sort of like your player doesn't really get hot anymore. Like, oh, your player is on fire. It is now like an actual bar on the screen, like a UI, and at a certain point, you'll reach a limit and it'll be like, all right, you can trigger this takeover system and it will now buff certain, like personality, like not personality traits, but certain like badges your archetype is sort of situated into. And then it'll allow you to do those sort of things better. So for example, if you're I don't know, like fucking Steph Curry, who is a 3-point shooting machine, it'll buff those sort of things. Whereas if you're maybe a bit more of a defensive player, like I don't know, DeMarcus Cousins or Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, well, Kawhi's pretty overall standard for good everything, right? It'll like maybe he'll be good. Like those things will get boosted up, maybe be able to do better it'll up his block stats or the way those, because like a lot of the things you do in the game are based off of percentages and ratings, and like, all right, if you get this shot off, you've got a 80% chance of hitting it, but at the same time the guy that is defending you is a solid defender, and then you've also missed the timing on that shot, so it takes all these like different things into effect. So it'll play with that system a bit more. So I think for me, that's the biggest change that I've seen. Other than like the general tweaking of dribbling and passing and the way animations work, and that sort of stuff, because I'm not seeing much else in terms of gameplay. The defense stuff is a little bit overhauled and whatnot, and I can talk about that. But yeah, that's an interesting change. And I actually quite like it, because it's this risk thing of if you get to that point where you can use the takeover system and you fuck up by not using it, and maybe something happens, I don't know, you do a turnover or something negative happens, you actually lose that entire bar. But the point of it is, if you keep it, you get to use it for longer, and it boosts up a bit quicker towards the end there, which I think is interesting. So yeah, I quite dig that. I think it's an interesting mechanic. So yeah, the basketball stuff is really good. It's the other stuff that I still do not like. The monetization of the game. How everything revolves around VC, and not only that, but all the VC is, it affects gameplay as well. And not purely cosmetic, which is, I don't like that part at all. It sucks.
Yeah, it's like, when I was talking about how my theory on why Battlefield upgrades exist as they do, I'm like, didn't I play another game that didn't even bother trying to fucking separate these two things lately? All right, it's NBA 2K. I really like the basketball player. I think he plays really good. I like the prelude, the storyline. I thought it was good.
I think it's better. Like, they have gone pretty goofy, I think, since they started it. Remember like 2-3 years ago, you had like your best friend who was a ghost at one stage, and that was really fucking weird.
The comedian chick who's your best friend who lives in your loft or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, I think that was last year.
That was last year, and all that kind of shit.
This is still goofy, but it's not as goofy.
Yeah, it's relatively grounded.
A bit more, yeah.
Yeah. takes like you don't get drafted. You go to China. There's an actual character arc. It's like not anything fucking complex, but there's like growth. There's character growth. He starts in one place, and he finishes somewhere else, and it's halfway decent. Like I was shocked
because I don't know if you remember, but when I reviewed this, as I said, the last one was 17, and the arc in that one was you started off as I can't remember if it was in G League or as a rookie, and then for whatever reason you were playing against the All Stars, like. It was
right, yeah.
It was. Oh, you were in. Was it the Australian team or something like that? I can't. Anyway, it was so dumb. Like, why are you playing against these professional basketball players? Like, you're literally this scrubby fucking NBA player. Yeah. It didn't make any sense. Whereas this takes that into account, and it makes like you get a good idea of why you're playing against these good players. Like, it makes sense. Like, because this shit actually happens in real life.
It's internally justified. They talk it through. They have reasons for everything, and you just you work it out. I would say some of the fucking starring roles are cameos at best, but like nevertheless, I thought it was pretty good. Like, I liked your coach on the G League team you wind up on.
Yeah,
I thought he was. It's Rob Hubel, who is a comedian I love. I reckon he's fucking hilarious. And he's not playing like this goofy comedian dude. He's playing a serious role. And I think he treats it with respect, and he does a really good job. I think that's fucking awesome. Haley Joel Osment does a solid job as this goofy cunt fucking busboy come social media manager. I don't think the problems with that role are on him. I think he does a good job. Fucking the sidekick from Captain America.
Yeah.
He's like a scout. His character is weird, and I actually didn't really like how he played it, to be honest. It seems like I think he's the person that like I measure the seriousness with which the other characters are taking the role. Because he seems to be taking it sort of all as a bit of a piss take, I thought. I don't know. Maybe that was just me. It was just... It's weird, man. Because I thought, the storytelling was pretty decent. Your player character, is a unrepentant dickhead, and he has an arc where he slowly learns to stop being a fuckwit, but he's still kind of a dickhead by the end.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really help. That's not perfect. It makes me feel like whoever wrote it might be a bit inherently unlikable, but that's probably pretty fucking unfair. I think they did a good job, but everything about playing my player is tied to this VC shit, and you're fucked, man. I'm playing my character shouldn't be in the NBA. I'm starting on the fucking Phoenix Suns, which is a desperate indictment of the Phoenix Suns. But I
think they came. Did they come last season or pretty close?
They would have been struggling to come last. The alternative was permanent irrelevance. They're not the Shanghai Dragons, but they're fucking close. They're terrible. I'm starting from. I have a 68 overall rating. I wouldn't get drafted in a fucking 20-player fantasy league. People would probably just be like, I can't afford the negative hit to my field goal stats, for the field goal percentage, so I'll probably just leave that spot blank instead of picking me up. I can't hit shots for shit, man. My stats aren't there, so every time I go up against any halfway decent fucking defender, I miss.
Yeah, you're a point guard, right?
Yeah. So Yeah. All I can do to get actual like stats is assists. I power through assists, and it is the dullest fucking version of basketball because all I do is I go to the top of the key, I press the L1 trigger to like call a screen.
Yep.
One of my big men comes up, stands next to me. I run the little guy into them, and then immediately pass the big guy, and he dunks.
Right.
I can do that probably 40 fucking times a game. My biggest challenge is sometimes, like only extremely occasionally, collision detection errors will occur, and my big man will get stuck. And instead of running to the basket and catching the ball and dunking it, he will get stuck on the little person he's been switched off on, and he will not make it. And so he'll just stand there and get the ball, and then he will have to take 2 steps, in which case it's no longer an assist for me. It doesn't count as an assist. I'm in that fucking takeover mode constantly. I'd say like by the fucking end of the first quarter, I'm in takeover mode because it's just assist city, baby. Like sometimes I switch it up. During the fucking prelude, it was like, oh, get 3 assists with this character, get 3 assists with this character. There's no fucking way. I don't know how the fuck to do that. Except for the old, like, wait, like, hold the fucking ball for the entire fucking shot clock and then pass it to them when there's 2 seconds left, which is how I got the assist the second time. Because I had some dude that I didn't like, but I had to pass him to show that I was a team player or some shit.
Yeah.
That's what I did. It took him 7 shots to get the 3 assists I needed. And twice he just held the ball and we got a shot clock violation. It was pretty good. Like, it's just dull, man. But like, what the fuck else am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not paying more. I can't get a bigger paycheck. I'm starting for the fucking Phoenix Suns, but I'm still only earning 1,000 VC a game, which is enough for, at this point, at 68, I can increase 1 stat by 1 point every game, and I will very quickly reach a point where I can't even manage that. I'm stuck in the 2-year contract, so 3-year contract. Like, it's fucked.
Yeah, it's pretty slow. Like the majority of the points that you're getting from VC is from your salary, because even if you do well in a game, you get like 130, 140 points if you do really well in a game.
What's this my points shit they added in? Because that seems like the fucking dog shittest bullshit that they've added. Like, it seems like it exists solely to dick you out of VC.
Well, that's so that you can't. So the way the My Point system is put in there, you've got like limitations of how much you can put into your like individual stats. So that you can't actually buy your way to play a 99. You've actually got to play the game.
Right.
So if I don't know if you noticed this, but we've been playing for the last, like the game came out yesterday officially, but you could buy the Ultimate Edition or whatever the fuck it was and spend $150 and you could get the game early and they would give you 100,000 VC. And that's why everybody running around was like level 88 or 86. Because you could only buff to a certain point, and then you earn the My Points, and that allows you to like, all right, well now you've gotten like an extra rank in here. It starts like pushing that limit a bit further. So, all right, you can put points now further into this part, and that's what it'll eventually get you to 99 as a player by doing those other tasks in the My Points. And you get that by doing things like practice or certain things within a game. Like blocks, shooting, passing, highlights, and then outside the game, it's doing things like getting fans, doing the exercise, practicing with your team, all that sort of stuff. That's how you boost that part, and that's what it's there for. Yeah, why
garbage?
Why is that?
Because all of that could be earning me fucking VC.
Yeah.
All of that could just be going into VC, and they could just admit to themselves that you buy your way to fucking 99 anyway, which is literally what they want.
Yeah.
And like they cut out the bullshit. They've added that to justify to themselves that it's not pay to win, and to dick you out of an opportunity to earn VC, so that you have to pay more. So because otherwise it deflates the fucking it causes inflation on the economy, on the internal economy, because there's more VC in the fucking market, which means that people are able to get their stats higher. It's fucking bullshit. Every time it's like 14 assists, this many fucking points, this many fucking pointless points. I'm like, cool. And then how much VC did you earn this game? 24. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. That like 14 assists for a rookie is actually pretty good. Actually, it's pretty good regardless. It's pretty good for a really good basketball player.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm getting fucked about here a bit by earning sweet jackal fucking VC. But yeah, cool. I guess I'll continue to be able to do literally nothing. The other thing is I can't actually score. I don't get any assists in a game unless Tyson Chandler's on the court, because everyone else is dog shit. So
we're having a very different experience. So I'm we'll go back to mine. I'm playing as a small forward, and I have played about 20 games in the NBA at the moment. I got drafted into, I think, so you start off in like the Chinese Shanghai League. The thing I liked about that is all the commentary is in like the local language. And so you have no clue what is going on. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is the best thing that I've seen in this game so far. And I was like, okay, this is pretty funny. And then the second game starts and it's still the same thing. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. They're like fully committed into this whole thing. And there's like no subtitles, no nothing. It's just all in the local language. And I feel like they probably just, like, it's probably from the actual that version, right? And they just switch it.
Oh no, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So like that's amazing, that part. And then like you basically get to the point in that game where the All-Stars, or I think that's called like the Global World Tour or something like that. That's when all the All-Stars come and they come and play in China, which is like literally a thing that happens anyway, because basketball is very big over there, and that's why you're playing in this game against them, and you end up in a highlight reel by dunking over like one of your sort of nemesis, like a college player that used to play with, who got drafted, but you didn't. And this highlight goes viral, and then from there, like people start recognizing you. You end up in the G League, which is like the NBA's development league. I think all of the teams in the NBA actually have a G League team now, and there are people like Jeremy Lin is probably a name that people recognize. He was a G League player. There's a bunch, and sort of teams, even rookies end up playing in those G League teams. Like to get familiar with games and whatnot. So they'll send them down to those games. I'll play, and then I'll come back and play in an NBA game. So yeah, basically you're playing this G League team, and you have a couple of games in there, and then that's when you sort of get pulled up by another team. And so I missed this whole point, but there was like a part in there where it must have been like, hey, who do you want to play for? Or who is your favorite team or something like that? And I was just like, yeah, Lakers, easy. Did you select Phoenix? Or like what happened at that stage?
No, I selected the Lakers.
Right, okay. So I wasn't sure what was going on with the story at this point, because I was like, oh, okay, I'm on the Lakers. That's good. I like them. And also his name's like Corey Harris. He's your college, your fellow college player. He's on that team. And that's why I asked you the other day, is he on your team as well? Like, is this part of the story? But no, it turns out he's actually always on the Lakers, it looks like.
Well, I only made it to the Suns after the prelude finished.
Right.
And stuff. But yeah, he was always on the Lakers as far as I could tell. So after I finished in China, I went to the G League affiliate for the Lakers, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
And then you get transferred to the Indiana G League affiliate. So you're basically playing for the Flint Tropics.
I was in the Fort Wayne Mad Ants.
Yeah, Fort Wayne, yeah. They're the Indiana G League.
Sure.
Yeah. And so, yeah, your man is always on the fucking Lakers. It just so happens you went to the Lakers. At the end of the fucking prelude, I was given like choices of teams I could go to.
Yeah.
It's like earn 1,000 VC a game if you go to the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
Alternatively, you could get a big square punch in the dick if you go to any other team. Like the Suns, it is. Because otherwise I would have been earning like 600 fucking VC to play on the fucking Kings, and I'd be in exactly the same place I am now, except earning far less. So, I decided, not to.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I missed that whole bit for whatever reason. I don't know. So yeah, I'm on the Lakers and started off as small forward, not getting much minutes, but eventually ended up playing pretty well. So I'm at the point now where I'm a starter, and but like even before that, I was getting 18 minutes a game around about then, and I was doing about 18 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, like one or two blocks and a steal, off 55-60% shooting, field goal percentage. Free throws was a bit average, it's like 60%. But yeah, like I was doing okay. I was doing pretty well. And the thing that was really annoying me was, and I messaged you about this, my rotations in the game were fucked. Like, for whatever reason, LeBron James, who is a top 3 player in basketball, depending on who you speak to, is like, he would not play at the end of my games. He was always coming... Like, he'd go to the bench in the fourth quarter or, like, towards the end of the fourth quarter, which doesn't really happen. Like, he's a dude that plays...
Not playoff LeBron, sorry.
Yeah, like, generally he plays, like, 36 minutes. And it seemed like there was, like, a fucking cutoff. Coach was like, you've played 32 minutes, that's it. You're out. That's enough for you. And it's like, but coach, the game's really close. He's like, no, doesn't matter. You've hit your mark. Kyle Kuzma's playing instead. I'm like, what is Kyle Kuzma doing on the court when there's, it's a really close game. There's 4 points in it. There's 4 minutes left. Shouldn't LeBron be playing, coach? No, fuck you. All right, fair enough. I guess I'm going on. I've played like 6 games in the NBA, but you'll have me on here and playing as a fucking power forward and Kyle Kuzma in small forward. I don't know what's happening there. And
there's 12 minutes left in this bitch. We're in garbage time.
Yeah.
Coach, we can win this one. Get the fuck out there, third string.
I'm not even third. I'm like 12th on my team. But it doesn't matter. Because, like, LeBron could literally play any position, I feel like, on that team, right? Maybe not center, but do you really need center in this day and age of basketball? Probably not.
I do on the Suns.
Yeah, you do. And so, like, I'm like, this is broken. Like, I lost like 2 or 3 games where I was like, fuck, like, why is LeBron not playing? This doesn't make any sense. And I couldn't work it out. I'm like in the settings being like, all right, you can switch people depending on fatigue. Is it that?
Sorry, just to interrupt real quick. The Phoenix Suns are 0 from 7 so far. So
really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. So at this stage, I think we were second. I think we were on like 7-3 or 8-3, something like that. This is me coming off the bench. And I'm like, fucking LeBron, what are you doing? So it was like me, it would either be like Lonzo or Rondo at point guard. And then like Corey Harris, who is the made up player. And then it'd be like Kyle Kuzma, me, and JaVale McGee playing, and I'm like, I like, coach, I'll go on the bench, let LeBron fucking carry this, but nah, whatever. And then so I was worried about like what the fuck's going to happen when I get starting, or if I get starting. I knew it was coming because it shows you in game when you're getting close. Like, am I going to take, because I'm a small forward and so is LeBron, right? Am I going to take his position, or are they going to put me somewhere else? Like, is LeBron just not going to play anymore for this team? And eventually I get to starting position. And for whatever reason, LeBron's starting still as small forward, but I'm in power forward position now. And, and I think, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it was doing that, but there's a weird thing going on with those rotations. So,
gold.
But yeah, we're doing pretty well. And my first game, I think I sent you guys a message, but it was like 35 points. Like 8 or 7 rebounds, like 4 or 5 assists, couple steals, couple blocks off like 80, 70 something % shooting. That was my first game. And I'm 66, or was 66 at that stage. So yeah. There's a bit of like between what the experience I'm having where you're not doing, me and you, where you're like having a really hard time scoring as a point guard or kind of getting anything done, and I'm playing as a small forward who is
out of position, small forward.
Yeah, who is in power forward, starting for the Lakers over LeBron sometimes. When I was playing backup and getting 35 points, like nearly triple doubles as a 66 player, like there's something wrong there. You know what I mean? And also, like most of my game is I do a lot of posts play when I get in there. Because my shooting wasn't that great, but I get in post. I'm not entirely that strong, but I can sort of push my way in, and generally I'll get a vibe for like what I'm up against. Like if it's Serge Ibaka that's posting me up, I'm like, all right, probably don't want to throw this up. He'll probably block the shit out of me. But otherwise, I'll be like, all right, I can just sort of work my way in the post and do a hook shot or something like that, or spin around and get in there. And so what I've been doing in the training is bumping up like all my post moves and my finishing moves and that sort of shit, and sort of not really focusing on my 3-point shooting, or like passing and that sort of thing. But yeah, I've just been sort of putting all the stats into things where I know I can get points and that sort of stuff. So I'm scared. Like, what the fuck happens when I get to in the 70s or 80s? Like, what am I going to be doing? Like 50 points a game and like 20 rebounds and 20 assists or something? Like, what happens there?
Are you playing on 12-minute quarters?
Yeah, 12-minute quarters. I think we're first of the ladder now. So I don't know. It's a weird, very different experience that you and I are having in our positions. Like I can't call plays because I'm not a point guard, so I've just got to do whatever the coach tells me to do. I can't
call plays because I haven't worked it out. But
it's like the buttons, the arrows, D-pad.
Right.
You probably should look that up.
Maybe. Yeah. It won't matter. It's not really going to trump the fucking pick and roll basic.
Pick and roll is pretty good. I've been playing my team as well.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Hang on, before we leave my player, can I just... I don't know if you've noticed this, probably not because you're having the most blessed run of all time, but have you noticed that, like, if you fuck up on defense, like,
you lose a lot.
Your teammate grade, like, tanks.
Yeah. That's always been in there.
But what's worse is when you get screened and your teammates don't actually rotate.
Yes.
Like, so then, like, they don't move across. So I'm like, I get fucking screened by Anthony Davis, like shoulder checks me in the face, and I'm like supposed to climb over the fucking wall, and then fucking whoever the fuck on my team, Trevor Ariza, like just watches as whoever the fuck like just wanders to the fucking and dunks it, and then it's like defensive breakdown. I'm like, yeah, that's what the fucking screen does, motherfuckers. How the fuck am I supposed to? What am I supposed to do? Like, what, predict it? Yeah, I did predict it. He's fucking 18 miles wide. Of course I'm going to get fucking screened by him. If I go near the fucking cunt, I'm getting fucking screened. Yeah. Jesus Christ. And yeah, it happens all the time. I got a fucking, in that last game before like the last game of the Prelude, and it's like you're playing for the Lakers. Like I was playing for the Lakers in my call-up game, and I was playing alongside my old college teammate, and this is my shot to show the NBA everything they had and all this kind of stuff. I needed 10 assists to like justify it, and I needed a teammate grade of B+ or higher.
Yeah.
And I got my teammate grade up to B+.
Yep.
In the second quarter. And then, I got like bumped out on a screen, watched it dive to B, and then B-, and then I like threw a turnover, and suddenly I'm in the C's, and I'm like, oh my god, what is going on here? I'm gonna have to start this fucking game again.
Yeah.
It was like fucked.
Yeah, the whole that grading system of the getting sort of badly marked for bad defensive plays, it's like always been in there. And it's one of those things where it's like sometimes you'll get one, and sometimes it's like it'll dock you for two. Like, oh, you allowed an inside pass, but you also allowed them to score. So that's fair enough. Or you allowed an inside pass and then they missed a shot, they got an offensive rebound and then scored, and that's like 3 fucking docks. You're like, shit.
Or I like the one where it finally switches, like they miss the layup because one of your teammates decides to, I don't know, like spastically flail his arms in the air, and it like puts them off their game because they're like, is he having a seizure? Yeah. And they miss the layup, but they get their offensive rebound. And that's when it's decided to not someone else gets the offensive rebound, and that's when it decides to switch players for you.
Yeah.
And so suddenly you've switched, and so now you get the allowed offensive rebound on like the player that you weren't trying to mark anymore. It's pretty good.
There's the one where it's like you steal the ball, but it like you don't get control of the ball, and then it goes off you and goes out of bounds, and so you get a steal, and then it's like turnover.
And the turnover is more
like worse.
It was. Yeah.
I shouldn't have just touched it. Should have just let him have it.
I should have just let it happen. I should have. No, it was my bad. I should have just stood near them.
Yeah. So a lot of that was like the switching is one of the things I got written down. There's a bunch of stuff on the settings that aren't on in the game for whatever reason. I feel like they should be by default. Things like play vision should be on at all times. Communications with teammates, I feel like should be on. And did you turn that on? Is that what you're talking about? Right.
What's that?
So that'll be like you need to switch. So people talk to you within the game, but it'll come up on the screen and be like, this person called a switch, or this person called a go over on the screen, or go under. And so you should be listening to what they're saying, because that's what happens in basketball. Like if somebody screens you while you're on defense, you got to talk to the other person and say, like, what do I do? Are we switching or are we staying? Like, but the problem with that is the same thing you're happening, where it'll come up on the screen and say switch, and then you switch, but the AI doesn't switch. And then something happens where it's like, oh, you're not marking the correct person. And then all of a sudden you lose points because they score and they haven't switched. So that's bugged out really badly. I've lost so many points to that because the computer will be like switch, and then they don't switch. And then I lose the player, and then that's it. So yeah, there's something going on there. But I think play vision should be switched on. That sort of stuff should all be on by default, just so that people that don't know how to play the game like understand where they should be standing at all times. Because it really gives you an idea of like, oh, this play's about to be run, but everybody's standing around waiting for you, and they're waiting for you because you're not in the right spot. So yeah, I think that should be on at all times. It's really strange. But anyway, going back to like
lighting, right?
What's that?
You were going to talk about
my team. I was playing my team, and that's the collectible card game where you open up packs and you get players in these packs, and then you take those players and form a lineup and play challenges or against people online or against NBA teams in single player. And then you get given an extra set of points. It's called My Team Points. And then you use those points to open more card packs. And these card packs it's like a fantasy team builder where you're getting players, you're getting different courts, you're getting uniforms, you're getting different types of like footwear, arenas. You're getting things that allow your player to be better, like a small boost in stats. You're getting contracts so that you can play those players longer. And yeah, you're basically building this fantasy team to complete these challenges and whatnot. And that stuff is, again, like it's got that whole system of you need to spend this made-up currency to buy card packs, or you can spend VC again to buy card packs. But the thing is, like, I've got this really good player, but you can only use them 4 or 5 times before their contract's up, and then you need to pay a contract card to boost them. Like, you can play them for another 5 contracts or another 5 games. And then it becomes this cycle of like, I want to play this player, but I can't because I don't have any contract cards. So now I either need to like buy money to do it, or I need to shred some cards to get more of these points, or use like shittier cards to try and earn more points. It's in a weird place at the moment, but like generally I enjoy playing that part a little bit, like getting these really like weird mix of group of players in there and trying to complete some of these challenges. And like you were talking about how you're doing the pick and roll stuff, and that was like my go-to thing in this game. I was basically just grabbing my point guard and my center and running pick and roll the entire time, and the other teams could not stop me because I just had this humongous center. I was like 7 foot tall, and the entire time was just pick and roll. It was so good. No one could stop me. It was amazing. But I don't know, like that stuff's cool. I just, again, it's the stuff around it, the currency, the monetization of how they handle it, I'm not a fan of at all. Anyway, and then going back to my career, I think the neighborhood stuff is better this year. It's no longer like they take feedback on, right? And they've realized that, all right, we still got work to do. It's like a square now, or a rectangle. And the stuff that you need to go to often is next to each other, which is pretty handy. And I like being able to run around and just see games of basketball that's going on. And like I can stop and literally watch like 4 games of basketball that's happening without like having to, I don't know, go into like a lobby or something. It's happening. I can turn around and see these guys play whatever. And yeah, that stuff's really cool. But yeah, and they've got like a bunch of different events in there. I think a dodgeball event starts today. They've got like that weird basketball with the like trampolines. That's out in like a back area. That looks interesting. I haven't checked that out yet. And mainly because when we were playing, it was all the people that bought in early, so they were all like level 88. And I was like 60, and I'm like, I'm not playing against these people. I get fucking stomped. There's no matchmaking or in that area. So you've basically got to look at the people that are in, I guess, your server or your lobby. It sort of does it by regions, and then be like, all right, well, I can't play against these guys, which kind of sucks. So it'd be cool if there was some more matchmaking or something along, like it was sort of ranking players in a certain area. But that's the thing, right, is that they don't want that. They want you to be matched up with other people because they can be like, all right, well, you need to spend money to be able to play these guys. Yeah. We've talked about that recently with like the, showing off all this cool gear and like incentivizing people to try and do the same thing. That's a dog way of doing it. But they definitely took feedback on the neighborhood stuff, and it's a lot better this year.
It's better than it was last year, but it's
absolutely bad. And like I enjoy playing these games, and the thing is, every year I've always got negative stuff to say about it, and it's cool that every year the things, like a bunch of the stuff, and I'm saying that I'm responsible for the fucking changes they make, but the things that I see in the game that I'm like, that's not really good, every year or two I'm like, oh, they fixed that, that's better now. There's stuff in there, like, I remember one year I was complaining about how the shot feedback meter was at their feet at one stage, or it was. That's now up at their arms. Like, that makes so much more sense. I'm no longer looking at players' feet when I'm shooting, or looking down at their feet to get an idea of how badly I did. It's now next next to their arms or their head, which is where I normally look anyway. There were things in there. Was it 2017? I remember in my review how I wrote about, like, this story doesn't make any sense. Why am I a rookie? Or, sorry, I think it was a college player. Why am I a college player being called up to play in the an all-star game against Australia? Like, that's fucking stupid. And then they've gone around and fixed like a bunch of that stuff. Like, it makes sense now. And then things like with the run the neighborhood stuff before, I think it was last year or the year before, when you would go into a training facility and then they introduce these archetype types, and you'd be like, all right, I'm a post player. And then you'd go in there and your team would be like, all right, we're practicing 3-point shooting today. And you're like, but yeah, I'm not a 3-point shooter. I work inside the post, like I'm a center. And then so you'd fail those drills and you wouldn't earn any points at that training session or practice session. And it like didn't make any sense. Whereas now you can go into the training facility and do whatever sort of, like, I want to practice in this section. Like, these are the things I want to learn and get better at. And I've been able to do that by, like, I'm working on my post moves today. I'm working on my lockdown defense. And it's like, that's because the player I am. I'm not practicing 3-point shooting this time. So they listen to that sort of feedback as well, which is really good. Like, you occasionally get a couple of, like, team drills in there. And it's like, all right, we're practicing fast breaks today. But at least it's not, like, before it used to be every single time. Like, all right, here's a random drill, and it probably doesn't make sense to you, but we're going to do it anyway. And that shit, because it's kind of wasteful. So that was a complaint that I had that was fixed, and that's cool. So yeah, like, it may seem like being pretty negative about it, but it's really just the monetization for me that's a problem. Like, a big problem. And you were talking about on Twitter, like, they basically built a fucking casino in the game, and it is like decked out like a casino. You walk in there and it's got that look of it, like everything's really bright lit. Everything's like this white color with red velvet. There's like a fucking chocolate wheel that you spin with a giant like a screen above it saying like daily wins and all this stuff. There's a giant screen in the corner that says like jackpot with a stupid amount of VC on there. And this is like it's like literally a gambling area where you can wager VC to play against other people in the game. And if you win, then you get their VC. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit shit, that part. But it's like, it's literally been in the game for, I don't know how many years. It's been in there, but now it's like, it looks like a casino. Like, like they've done it up like a casino.
Like a casino, and there's a jackpot.
Yeah, and there's like ATMs, like VC ATMs when you walk in that you go to, and you can buy VC.
It's so fucking...
It's crazy.
So gross.
Yeah. Which sucks because the game is really fucking good. The basketball game is really good. The presentation's awesome again this year. Like, a lot of they've got more basketball players in there. Like, Bill Simmons is apparently in there. I haven't heard him yet. I don't know which part of the game he's in, but he's basically doing like the Kobe Bryant. I think Kevin Garnett is, or am I making things up? Someone else like pops in every once in a while and gives some feedback, but I feel like
I had Kobe in my very first game. I had Kobe just talking.
Yeah,
I was playing as the Lakers against the Warriors,
right?
And he was just sitting there talking about how LeBron's, one of the best to ever play the game, and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. Like, I think he was talking about rings.
Okay.
They were talking about rings, what he thought about rings. And he was like, at the end of the day, you can be one of the best players in the world, and you just never wound up getting that many rings because... what was he saying? Like...
because you're on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I did not. So many things have to go right for you to get a ring. Like, it was really awesome. Like, he's... really well measured. He's got he obviously thinks about basketball a lot. So yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, I love like taking young guys through the game now, and like if they're out and listen, I live in like Orange County or something, and
Yeah.
if guys are around, I'll tell them I'm going to be at the gym at 5. If you want to train with me, meet me at 5. And I'm pretty sure he's talking about 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, you've heard of those stories where he's a crazy fitness freak.
Yeah.
But there's like commentary in there about LeBron like joining the Lakers, and that's new. That's only like 8 weeks ago, right?
Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff in there and that, so they're up to date. Like the commentary is always pretty solid in those games. It's just the other stuff. I don't know. Have you had any crashes? I've had a couple crashes.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. I had like 5 or 6. And I don't know if that was related to like weird connection issues where it like dropped connections or the game would just crash or something. But it was before release. It hasn't happened since like the weekend. So just something I'm keeping an eye on. But yeah, have like six crashes at least. Strange. Anyway, we should definitely jump in at some stage when you get time and have a game online.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I definitely like to play online and see what that experience is like. But next week when we're watching Predator,
oh yeah, we can play some.
Jump in for a game.
Yeah.
Make the other dorks watch.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. That's it. That's all the games, I think. There's a lot.
Yeah, that was.
Should we talk about some news?
Some news? There's not a lot of news to make up for all the games. So, what do we got? THQ Nordic purchases the Kingdoms of Amalur IP. Kingdoms of Amalur was an interesting one. I thought it was a really interesting, like, world-building experience that I wound up forgetting fucking film. So it just wound up it just felt like this huge, gorgeous world that was like really well fleshed out, but it was ultimately hollow as fuck. And there was just felt like an MMO where they forgot to put any quests in.
Yeah.
But with that said, I think the foundation has already set up. It's really well established, and there's a lot there that they could build out of and make a really interesting game out of. So I think this is pretty cool. Like, THQ Nordic has a penchant for taking these discarded franchises and trying to do something with them. So I'm 100% on board to see what they can put together. Because, mostly what I disliked about Kingdoms of Amalur, I think, could be summed up with, they definitely ran out of money.
Yeah, they had a lot of problems with, it was like Kirk Schillings, it was a baseball dude, right? And then, the state or the government, I think, had, a
stake in it, Rhode Island, right?
Yeah. They invested in I guess sort of what happens here, right? In Melbourne, or the government sort of invests in indie games, and but
it may or may not have been a weird tax
break.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
I guess we'll see, right? They've picked up a bunch of stuff. They did Darksiders is soon, right?
Yeah, Darksiders 3 is pretty soon.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. That's something that I'm definitely keen to check out. But it's we'll see.
We will see.
Because it's a different team, right? And that's the same thing with this Kingdom thing. It's probably going to be a different team. But anyway. Still, I quite enjoyed that first one. You could see where they were going, and it was fine. The game was fine. I felt like I had an enjoyable time playing it.
Yeah, it definitely could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse. And yeah, it was, in terms of potential, it had there was a lot there.
Yeah.
So. Cool.
All right, and the next one, we definitely ran out of things to talk about. And I saw this, thought it was interesting. Rocksteady is working on something. They are hiring a fuckload of people.
That's the news.
That's the news. There was, this is on, I think it was Destructoid. They're hiring 20 or 30 people for a AAA game that people are excited about. And there's been rumors floating around that they're working on
Superman.
A Superman game, or maybe a Justice League game.
Right.
So Rocksteady is the team behind Batman Arkham. The first 3.
Again.
Yeah. I just thought it was relevant to talk about because Marvel SpiderMan just came out.
Batman's better than Spider-Man. That's a good point.
And we all figured there was something coming from them at this year's E3, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's maybe Game Awards. That's coming up soon.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll hear something about them.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I'm keen to see whatever they work on. Most of the stuff's really good. It just sucks that the last game I played from them was fucked on the PC, which was Arkham Knight.
Yeah, it wasn't very good either, but whatever.
Yeah. That's the news. That's all we found. This new PUBG patch literally just went up.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not reading the patch notes. So.
Yeah, there's a new... they put a training map in.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yep, some new guns. Probably can't play it, but sure. That's the podcast.
We got questions.
We do. We got an email.
An email?
Yeah, open up your emails. I just remembered.
Yeah.
It came in the other night, and I was like, what's this? An email from somebody that's not PR?
Crazy.
What is this? I'm going to check my fax machine.
Paul writes in. Hi, Joey and Luke. One. Fucking straight into it. No fucking intros. Just... Well, he did say hi.
What is your favourite colour?
People usually tell us that they love our podcast, Paul. Just throwing this one out there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cold one. Magic the Gathering Arena.
Oh.
This is their replacement for the previous Magic the Gathering Duels free-to-play online game. To progress, you need to earn VC to buy card packs, which enables you to build your own decks. You earn VC by earning... You earn VC? Hang on. VC?
Oh, gosh.
That's a fucking trigger word. What the fuck? By winning games and completing tasks, e.g. play 25 black or red cards. I've been playing the beta since it started in February. The game is good, but the playing community seems to have degenerated down to a bunch of whiny bitches, all in caps. It's pretty good. That bail the moment they think they might lose. This never seemed to be a problem for me with the older games. I realized that it is a card game and that RNG can either win or lose games. The other day, some weak cunts bailed, also in caps, sorry, bailed after I counted one of their cards. They were on 14. You start on 20. So, yeah, we've played Magic. That is a weak card move. I definitely was in a better position, but he wasn't even close to losing. I played because I enjoy the contest, and I accept that if I draw 5 land cards in a row, that I'm well and truly fucked. But I still play to the end. See, I would probably concede if I drew 5 land cards in a row. It would be like, maybe that's what happened. Maybe he was on 14, you counted his card, and then he drew another land card. He's like, fuck this shit!
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, because I
uninstalled it. Now they're back on Hearthstone.
Yeah, I would uninstall. Yeah, I even appreciate being beaten by someone with a great deck, and it can be like watching a work of art being unveiled. Joab, is this bailing culture the same in Hearthstone? I think they need to introduce some penalty for conceding a match. Whoa, that's harsh. Yeah, there is a bit of bailing. I will always let people play shit out, and the moment I see them BM. That's when I concede because I don't want to. Like, I want people. I think the idea of building a great deck in Hearthstone is to like have that awesome like wombo combo moment. You know, especially with combo decks, but like even with like less with decks that aren't that critical to. Yeah, like where a combo isn't that critical, you still want to have that moment where you actually play to kill your opponent, right? And I don't think it is there. I don't think there is a battling culture in Hearthstone because the amount of times I played Shutterwalk, which is a horseshit, garbage, fucking cunt hole card, and people would just sit there and watch. Yeah, like fucking. Or what was the other one? Yogg-Saron, which is like a random nonsense fucking thing where basically anything can happen, but usually it's going to wind up being bad for the person who didn't play it. Yeah, the amount of times people will just watch it and let it play out. Yeah, there's not that same culture of shit country as there is in Magic the Gathering Arena, apparently. I will concede the moment someone starts to BM, but otherwise I will always let them play and get their fucking, if they've earned the win, they've earned the win. So fuck it. Let them have it. That's a good question.
So I'll cut in. Yeah, man, like I agree that I don't like the whole people disconnecting or leaving in the middle of games, like if they're losing. I saw one of the guys that does art in the NBA. He was playing 2K19 and he was posting on like Instagram like all the people he was beating, and it was something he was whining about. Like people were just leaving mid game when he was beating them,
right?
And that's something I liked about Dota. Right, is in Dota if you leave or disconnect from a game, you get a penalty. Like you can't play for a certain amount of time, and that's where you come into all these problems with games like PUBG, where it's like. Or other games where people leave mid-match, if there's no penalty for them leaving, then they're just going to do it. And then you run into that problem of like, oh, well, people don't want to play that map, so then they'll just leave. Well, it's like, well, if you either make the map good or have a penalty in there, they're not going to leave. And yeah, that's basically one thing that's killed PUBG, right? Is that they put this map selection in so they'd stop people leaving, but they've now isolated people to playing one specific map because nobody plays the other map at all, and they fucked up their queues. And yeah, I like games that have penalty systems in for people leaving, which is my point. It definitely should be in there.
I just don't think it necessarily applies in a 1v1 card game because you still get the win, right? Like you do still ultimately get the victory.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like if they cop the loss and then they're punished for leaving, that's sort of like a double down.
But what about
I definitely get it in Dota, where people leaving is a punishment for the team they left and the opponents, but it's more about punishing them for abandoning their team and less about punishing them for abandoning their opponents, because the opponents are definitely going to win once they've left.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, fair enough.
All right, 2. BFV, Battlefield 5. I am really enjoying this. I've always been a Battlefield fan, but BF4 wore me down. BF4 wore you down. That's crazy. I kept getting being hammered by guys with more unlocks than me. Yeah, fair enough. To the point that I avoided BF1. I just got into the last 2 days of the BF5 beta, open beta, and I really like the whole thing. It looks fantastic, and the maps chosen have some vehicles, but you don't feel left out as infantry. I think some control points need to have the destructibility toned down to stop them becoming tank fests. I assume this is on the snow map because I didn't feel like there were any maps in particular on the city map where they were destructible at all, really. Did you guys play the beta? And what did you think? What seems different to BF1? I guess we addressed this already. But yeah, like you're definitely right that the vehicles don't make you feel left out as infantry, and I think that is definitely tied to the fact that rearming is such a critical element, a critical part to the vehicle experience now. I really hope they don't fucking change anything about that. It's so good, and I just hope they stick to their fucking guns, nut up and do something different, Yeah. But yeah, we did already talk about that, I guess, for half an hour. Good email, Paul. Thank you for writing in. Yeah, it's good stuff. Johnny Bravo writes in our Discord.
Yep.
Hey, gents. No questions for a while, so thought I would ask one to prompt some discussion. There are different games promoting different choices of multiplayer game modes. Battlefield 5 proudly advertises 8 different MP types plus Battle Royale, whereas a game like Siege has a single MP button that you click and the whole online community joins a random game type as one big loving. What do you think are the pros and cons of each multiplayer presentation strategy, and which do you prefer? Personally, I like to mix it up in a Siege setting, but if I'm given the choice, I'll just stick to one game type such as only playing Conquest and Battlefield. That said, I find the games with choice are generally short-lived, with the community forming posses, I guess. Posses in their own preferred game modes, which they then die off a bit quicker, but these games promoting choice are more often recycled frequently, COD or Battlefield, whereas the single-choice games, Siege, PUBG, have a bit more longevity to them and a more loyal fan base. An example perhaps being that the PUBG population became fragmented and reduced when the players were offered more choices. Thoughts? What do you think, Luke?
I'm okay with the whole press a button on games like Siege and just let it play out.
You know what's interesting to me is that Battlefield 5 had that option. The open beta has that option. You can just click a button and you'll be dumped in a game.
Yeah,
and then,
both.
Theoretically, you could then, just kick people out of your squad and you can play with your friends. You can all just join another one person.
Yeah.
But I exclusively join games via the server browser, and it's 2 extra clicks, and it's a bit of a pain in the dick, but I will use the server browser every single fucking time. I don't give a fuck. I'm server browser for life, especially in Battlefield. I can see why you wouldn't do it in Siege, and I think they've done it really, they've made a game where it works really well in Siege. But yeah, Siege and PUBG have the luxury of being just that single game type. I think Battlefield 1 is still going strong, and that's 2 years after release. It outlasted Battlefront 2, which, I mean, isn't like an achievement. It's not a huge achievement because Battlefront 2 died very quickly, but you can still find games in, Battlefield 4 and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know that the multi mode games do die out that quickly. I think that, but I guess the other thing is that we're talking about games on a scale where it's almost difficult for them to die out. Like COD and Battlefield, you can still find people playing COD 4, or you could. I don't know if the remastered version has changed that, but you can still find people playing COD 4. You can still find people playing World at War. I think there's so many people who are fans of them overall that, you just don't wind up having to, I guess, worry if the player numbers dwindle away. I saw PUBG's player numbers drop below 1 million for the first time in a year, right?
Yep. Which is not bad. But considering where they were
hilariously, that is not actually every single other game, every other game on the planet would fucking kill for those numbers, except for maybe 7, right?
Yeah.
7 other games don't care, but every other fucking game on the planet would kill to have, we dropped to 980,000 players for a little while today, which is, bad. But PUBG's problem is matchmaking. They're all matchmaking, but their matchmaking's fucked.
Yeah.
That's the problem with PUBG. That's the problem PUBG has. They would not be losing players if their matchmaking wasn't fucked. And if you are going to have a game that is so heavily reliant on matchmaking, and the matchmaking's fucked, then the game's fundamentally broken. That's the problem. If you click the button in Siege and then couldn't get into a fucking game for 40 minutes, Siege should be fucking dead as well.
Yeah. But it's not. It's within 5 seconds to 30 seconds to Nate and I. You don't as often because you go to bed at grandpa. Sure. But Nate and I will play at 3 a.m, 4 a.m, and we're getting games popping within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's it's only 8 people or 10 people in a match, but still, it's still working. It's not like playing peak hour. It's 7:30 at night and just having nothing pop for an hour, which is what the PUBG problem was again. Yeah,
it's bananas.
It's crazy, and that all started because they introduced map selection and match. Like, they had a play now button. You'd press it and it'd put you into a match. Whereas now it's like, all right, what map do you want to play? Do you want to play this map? There's currently 3 maps, and that's what fucked it up. Not only that, but it was like there's different modes. All right, you're playing. There was also they had the war mode in there. Are you matching with duo squads, solo or solo squads, and then like segregating all these things, and then like, you're not actually like, if you want to play all the maps, you're being put in a separate queue compared to everybody else who wants to play the single map. Like, it's so poorly implemented, and then having like an MMR system in there and matching people with rankings, and it was a mess. They did it poorly, and it works well on some games, but that was one game where pretty vocal from the start not to have it put in, and they did it anyway. So, yeah. But like, I feel like it works well in things like Battlefield, because there are like a lot of modes in there. There's like grand operations, your conquest. There's not capture the flag, is there, anymore? But like, there's all these different types of modes that you could jump in and play, and not necessarily everybody likes those sorts of things, or they're very different. Like, grand operations is a commitment to play one of those games.
Yeah.
Whereas it's different being like, I'm going to jump in and play a round of Battlefield. The grand operations, like, I'm going to play Battlefield for 2 hours and see how we go. Anyway, cool. Anything else to add?
That's all I got.
All right. That's all the questions?
That is it. Thanks so much. Thanks, Johnny.
That was a lot.
KV.
Yep.
Good question.
That's it. If you want to find us, you can find us on iTunes, Android, Windows Store. Haven't heard back from Spotify. Fuck those guys. We're on iTunes now. Sorry, not iTunes. YouTube. We're on YouTube now.
We have seen that.
Yeah, so I've been putting us up on YouTube starting last week. It's literally an audio version of this show with a picture. So don't be like, it's now in video. Like, that's not. We're not at that stage yet. Jeez. But if, I don't know, we've had people in the past ask us to put it on there. I guess it's just another way of doing it, and it doesn't take me that long to do. Like, it's a couple extra, 10, 15 minutes work so far. So yeah, it's not too bad. Anyway, so if you want to check that out, I think it's the GA podcast on YouTube. You should find us. Go subscribe. Or you can go to like iTunes or all those other things, the Gap, the GA podcast. Subscribe to us on those things. If you want to send us questions, you can email us like Paul, the GA podcast at gmail.com. Otherwise, you can jump onto our Discord page, which is the gapodcast.com/Discord. And you can leave us questions in there. You can play games. There's a bunch of channels. We're playing Battlefield all weekends. I guess this week will be, I don't know.
Blackout.
Yeah, some Blackout this weekend. Jump onto the Discord if you want to play some Blackout on PC.
Yes.
Because we'll definitely be looking for people. That's if you're in the beta. And then you can also join us on social media, facebook.com/GA podcast, twitter.com/GA podcast, or you can go to our website, thegapodcast.com. It's got all the links to things we just talked about, including past episodes of the show and other things. I put my SpiderMan review up last week. You can go read that if you want. Don't have to, but you can if you want. People have been reading it.
Do it.
And that's all thanks to our Patreon members. If you want to help support the show, you can go to patreon.com/GA podcast, and it helps us pay for things like hosting. And
is your Steam on?
Is my Steam on?
Yeah, and have you got it auto-downloading the PUBG patch?
No, it's off.
Weird. You're like roboting so hard. Nobody will hear it unless I'm roboting.
Yeah. No, maybe it's on your end.
No, I've got no network traffic unless
your internet's shit, remember?
That speed, yeah, unless the internet thing I was talking about is doing what it's doing.
Yep.
But yeah.
No, I sound normal, so that's fine.
Yeah. Speed test 0.8 megabits per second.
Yeah, so it's you.
Sweet.
Fantastic. That's it. That's anything you want to pimp out or anyone?
No robot.
Yes, if you want.
Fine. I'm uploading at 48 megabits per second, so that's pretty good. That's more than I'm supposed to be able to. What?
Maybe they're changing. Maybe they're changing something.
Cool. All right.
Am I still roboting?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, whatever. Have you got anything you want to pimp out before you go?
No.
All right. For me, I don't know, man. It's Survivor.com. Go there. I'll have some NBA 2K stuff heading up at some stage once I write my review. And that's it. Next week should be big. You'll be back from Thailand.
Yes.
Talk about Overwatch.
Yes.
Hopefully should have played some Tomb Raider.
Right.
That's out Friday. Pretty mixed reactions by the sounds of it.
I don't care. I won't play it.
Cool.
We'll have played something else, though.
We'll have played more Blackout and something else really big. So
something massive.
Huge, massive. Stay tuned for that one. This is like, I feel like from now to the end of the year, we're going to be busy every week with stuff, like a lot of content coming out. So good time to jump on in. But next week kicks it off big time. I guess last week did with SpiderMan, but next week as well.
It's true.
Yeah. How much hype is that? Yeah. All right. That's it. Thanks everyone for listening. See you next week.
Sick. Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.